Okay, Dave, I'm starting on road.
What do you
So,
want me to start on, Susan?
why don't you start on town fund?
Town Fund 1, 2? Okay.
Sure, I'll do road 1, 2. I don't
All
know,
right.
we can't start our meeting till we have a quorum here, right? Well, we do. 'Cause we've got
We
three
have
of
a
us.
quorum.
We have
Yeah.
three.
We have three of us. Kim will not be at Bill Pay. She has a funeral.
Okay.
So, I'm assuming Claire will be, but we have a quorum anyways.
All right. So I'm going
Okey-dokey.
to disappear with 1 and 2, Town Fund 1 and 2.
All right, we better get to work.
That's it.
I'm telling you, they did a fantastic job.
Good to hear. Did you call to order with attendance? I don't know.
Oh, we did not.
Formally do that.
Yeah, where's the doohickey? Oh, well.
Good point. Good point.
No, I don't know that it's like, I know we always do that. I just don't. All right. So anyways, here's my doohickey. Calling it to order. Bill pay, 6:30 being, oh, I gotta do the whole thing. All right. It being 6:30 on February 23rd, 2021. This meeting is conducted by audio video conference without a physically present quorum of the township board because of the disaster declaration related to COVID. The supervisor has determined in person at the township building with all participants is not practical or prudent because of the said disaster. Township officials and legal counsel, some of which may not be physically present at the building due to the disaster. Physical public attendance at the township may be limited, so alternative arrangements for public access were made available through Rich Lyons. Meeting is also being audio and video recorded and made available to the public as provided by law. We are hereby starting bill review of general assistance, town fund, and road district expenditures. So Viesha, can you take that role? And you have to unmute the boardroom.
Supervisor Moraz,
Here.
Trustee Sweeney,
Here,
Trustee Karabota,
Here.
so far, right?
Yes,
Right.
we have a quorum.
All right. Like I say, I'll jump on the Town Fund 1 and 2. Okay.
sounds good. Is Claire coming? Do we know?
I haven't heard otherwise, so I think so. Oh, there she is. She needs the Zoom number. I love Claire. All right. Rich, can you hear me? Will you resend Claire the Zoom numbers? Is that a yes? That's a yes, right?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Oh, that does not sound good. I'm teasing. There's a heavy sigh by somebody. Wow. Mm. Mm. I gotta let her in. Coming. heard the ding. Where's my waiting room?
Kelly, can you hear me? Is
Yes.
Kelly there?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you check on Road and Bridge, check
Yeah.
number 21707,
Okay.
21707. It is for 4885 on our list, but I see a
Okay.
bill for 9674.
For that is, okay, so that's for VSP, the vision.
No, this is for ComEd traffic signals, 21707.
207,
I
sorry.
see this
Okay.
4798, but it adds like 4885 and 4798. So I'm just wondering why we only paid the 4885. And if we're gonna get hit with that again,
Let me look.
like the total amount due is 40. You know, that it was like the 9674 was due.
Oh, of course I can't find that. Let's see. I have-
Oh, he pays a share of this. Correct, Kelly? I think that OEM pays another share.
Yes. But this is Road and Bridge, right, Susan?
Correct.
And a utility, correct?
Yeah.
It is. It's ComEd.
Yeah,
So,
so,
I mean, the bill doesn't differentiate the location, so I didn't know that.
yeah,
If
so,
that's the case.
that's, I mean, I don't know if that's the answer, but I think that is the answer. I mean, oh, there's, that's how it's been done. So yes, OEM or AKA Township pays a share of the ComEd utility bill. Am I right, Kelly?
Yeah, they do. And this is just for the traffic signals, right, Susan?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm trying to see if it reflects that. See, if you look on the second page of the invoice, the total current charges are $48.85, which is the amount of that check. And then there's a miscellaneous $47.89.
Yep.
And I believe the 47.89, I don't know offhand, is, yeah, it could be the OEM. I'll have to look at it
So
further.
that's gonna come out of town fund then?
Yeah, for OEM, it does come out of town fund, yes.
Wally's gonna answer this.
Dollars was paid with the January bill pay, or
Oh, yes, it does say that, Susan, on the front of that, it says the 47.89 is from the town fund. Maybe the billing, got mixed, cross-patched a little bit. And that ended up
Okay,
on the invoice.
Not a problem if that's the case. So the 47,
47.89 is the previous balance, sorry.
so the other is the OEM or it's getting paid a different month?
The 48.85 is what's getting paid this month. That's the February. This is for Road and Bridge.
And then the 47?
The 47 was paid in the January. It was paid in the January bill pay.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
What's everybody working on?
Okay, Claire, if you
Hello.
can start with, I've got Road and Bridge days starting town. If you can work on the payroll and GA, that would be great. One of those. two.
Okay.
Thank you. You're good at payroll. How is it? And it looks like Kim's not coming, Claire, so.
She's going to a funeral for bill pay. She'll be at the meeting.
Okay.
Hey, Wally? Is Wally there?
Yeah, hello, what?
Hi. I'm just more curious about, did we have a lot of diseased trees or was that for another reason? All these silver maples that are removed? I was
Yeah,
just-
they're damaged trees or,
Yeah,
if there's a limb problem or the whole thing has to come down, that's,
okay.
and
That's
it
all.
was late in fiscal year this year.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we got hit. Do we
Well,
still have a lot to go or how are we doing on that?
This is just normal maintenance. There, there's enough trees that are either dead or, it's not some kind of systematic disease necessarily, it's just regular maintenance.
Yeah. Okay. I'm starting on Road and Bridge 3.
Okay, I completed GA. I'm working on the payroll.
Right.
Viesha, can you let the record reflect that Dave Carabota is also in attendance at the meeting, please?
Actually, when I called the roll, he was there.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
Claire that came after, so maybe we need to.
And
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you let the record reflect Claire's at the meeting?
yes, yes, I will, of course. Yes. Is Dawn there? Okay, they're done.
I didn't think she was gonna be part of this.
Wow. Probably to helicopter or something.
Wally, just a question. Is Acuity Specialty Products the same as Zep Sales and Service?
What did you ask? Zip Services?
Is that the same thing as Acuity? Because it was written to Acuity Specialty Products, and I just noticed the invoice. I don't see that on it, but I see Zep on it.
Yeah, well, that's
Is that the same?
the same, yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Zep is, got to do with, office incidentals and, basically, cleaning products and things of that nature.
Okay. Did a lot of work ordering all the salt and taking care of all the snow, Wally. Looks like it's been busy for you. I'm sure.
Days of measurable snowfall.
What'd you say?
No, you had 40 inches of snow in 23 days and 9 consecutive days with measurable snowfall, so it's been pretty busy.
I bet. Yeah. At least the gas prices didn't go up yet. Now they're really starting. We would have spent a lot more. Well, you did a good job on the roads. Did you get good feedback?
Oh, it's still unmuted? Okay, this system is crazy. You gotta hit a button to unmute. Yeah, we had fewer complaints than normal despite the amount of snow we received. It was fair, it ran smoothly.
That's good. Yeah, it had to be tough sometimes.
Yeah,
Can't please everybody all the time. It just, oh, it hits so hard, so fast.
yeah, lots of overtime. But I'd say overall, considering the amount of snow, there was very little friction from the public.
Good for you.
I had many people compliment us, and one person who always complains.
Glad to hear that there was compliments, because it wasn't easy.
Yeah, I think we get so many compliments. And I know Park Ridge had a hard time, but I think Park Ridge did a pretty good job. The snow just kept coming. And so it's, people they want to complain. But that's why I was very happy. Like, we got a lot of compliments.
Yeah. Dave, what town fund are you on?
I think he's muted.
Dave? I'm gonna start on Town Fund 6. Virtual mind games. I'd like to know what that game was like. I think I
Okay.
need that for mainstreamers.
Whoever is, can everybody mute other than the trustees? If they want, trustees want to mute, that's fine. But we were just like overhearing something. And we still are.
Laura, maybe you can answer the question for me about the, let's see, this accounting software, the Sage accounting software?
Mhm.
Or Dana? Is that our annual subscription?
Yes, I believe it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
The, Dorothy needs it as well as, Kelly.
Yeah, I use it too. Yeah. And our accountant, Chris uses it.
Oh,
Yeah,
and Chris, yeah.
it's for 2 licenses for annual subscription.
Okay, so
It's a one time a year.
we can't purchase it. It's like an annual. We always have to,
Yeah,
That's
and they
what
update it.
Sage is. Uh, when you run a business and you use Sage,
that's the
it's
way.
a license.
Okay.
I mean, the purchasing is so outrageous that, you don't want to do that because when you do the lease or the annual subscription, you get the updates and, there's many updates.
Okay. It would be good to note that on there instead of just admin, that it's actually for accounting software, just because it's in the future, it's a bigger ticket item and it just says credit union, so under Kelly, under what it's for, maybe you just want to note that.
Trustee Sweeney, behind the check is a credit card purchase form and it describes it. It says to Sage.
Yeah, I
50
see
annual-
it. I see it in the check.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm
But it
just,
says accounting software subscription.
I'm referencing the actual,
Oh, I see.
I'm actually the bill pay, because that's what the public sees, just that's for, it's not just like administration overhead cost or something with salaries. It
I
has to do with accounting software. I think that would be a little clearer for people to see that, I guess it's more for Supervisor Marask or Dana to note.
Okay.
Yeah, that's no problem. Although I won't be here next year when it's done, but
Yeah.
I will note it.
So it looks like Recovery Connections was still able to get together.
Yes,
They had, I don't know how many people were in their Friday meeting, but they must have had a pretty good turnout.
it's in the board report.
Yeah. February.
Yeah, they did. I think it was like 50. I could be. Marty couldn't be at the department head meeting because they're
They're averaging 40 to 50.
Yeah.
Still averaging about 40 to 50 participants on Fridays. Is that your question, Susan?
Yeah, I just, how do they do that socially distancing? I'm just curious.
it's a huge place.
So Miles Oasis, they have like a banquet hall size room.
Oh, okay.
They just literally set up tables so many feet apart and just ask that everyone just sit, distance.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think we need to keep moving on town fund if, I don't know, Dave, are you there?
I am working away.
Okay.
All right, I'll be
I
back.
finished
I'm on
Road and
3.
Bridge and I've been working on town fund 6,
Yeah,
so,
you're on 6. So I did 1, 2. I'm finishing 3.
okay.
What else needs to be done?
Town fund 4 and 5. I'm doing 6 right now. So do you want
Okay.
to start on one of those?
But did Dave say he's finishing 3?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start 5.
Okay. I did Town Fund 4 as well. So I did Road and Bridge 1, 2, and 3, Town Fund 4 and 6. Claire, did you finish 5? So I think Dave's probably, he should be finished 3.
Oh, I
Right, Dave?
hope he was almost finished. I hope he's finishing 4.
I did 4. I did 4 and 6 and 1, 2, and 3 of road.
Oh, all right. Well, I did all of GA and the payroll.
Okay, Dave, how are we doing? Because we could take a quick recess if he's finished. Dave?
Hold on there 1 second. Finished. Let me get on here. Yeah, I finished 4.
You were working at 3, so I did 4.
I did. Yeah, I
I-
finished 1, 2, 3, and 4. I had a couple of questions though. One was on draft number 58423. 58423, the 9230 entry to Leiden Family Service. Some reason I got 9226 and not 9230 unless I'm reading it wrong.
Yeah, I'll have to look.
58423, it looked like 2 payments, 2 grant payments.
I think that was that one where they had that January bill listed on the invoice as well?
Yeah, and when I added the 2, I got 9226 unless I'm just adding wrong. Because we show it as 9230 payment. I was adding up to 9226.
So it's 4 cents off.
It's $4 off. So I mean, I may be wrong with my adding. Then I had one other question.
Okay, I'll keep looking for that one. Sorry.
No rush, no rush.
Well, there's 3 minutes, so you may want to. Susan, why don't you go to the bathroom?
That's what I need. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Uh,
We're done. I mean,
And then on 58,379, I was just looking for the check on that one. It goes to Metro Life, so I'm sure it's fine, but I just didn't see the check for 58,378.
oh, didn't we talk about that? Oh, Susan just went to the bathroom. Are you talking about the utility bill?
No, it was for 1958.84. It looks like a premium payment.
I have it here, 58379 for Metropolitan Life. Maybe it got mixed up in the copies. It's right behind the Blue Cross Blue Shield invoice.
Yeah, I was looking, I went back and forth unless I'm just missing it.
Yeah, I do have it in
But
the.
if you've got it, Kelly, that's good enough for me.
Okay, and the
If
total.
we can add that just when you get a chance.
Oh, sure.
And then Kelly, on that other one, I know it's $4. Was I wrong?
I don't know. I'm having trouble finding it. 1 second. I thought we were all done and I put it all away, of course.
I think the reason why it's not quite in order because it comes up after check 58425.
Oh, okay.
That's why, because first I circled it as possible missing, then I had it, and it's very thorough. It's just that I was maybe adding it wrong.
I'm gonna have to get back to you. I'm sorry.
Okay. I mean, as Laura says, I mean, I'm not going to really. It's, as
We're
long
not
as we
gonna
find it. and-
quibble over $4. I mean, we could, but
We could stipulate over whatever Kelly's final determination is. We can Stipulate.
that's a good
Okay.
idea.
Now I have it. Okay, 58423. And what was the total that you got?
I got the 9,226. This says 9,230.
I don't know why.
I mean, it's not really worth a million years of your time.
Yeah,
I just-
right, because yeah, it isn't. I mean, no, we can figure it out. Dave?
I would
okay,
join in that stipulation supervisor. I was joining that.
I do see an invoice, sorry to interrupt, that does have that total on it. For the $9,230. It looks like Bronco received an email from them, but it is on their invoice. That's the total.
Can you see what the 2 installments actually add up to?
Yeah, and it has it here, $4,617 plus $4,613.
Oh, okay, because I saw 16 and 16 or something.
I do have that. I don't know if it,
So maybe if you can cross that out or correct it or something.
okay, sure.
Other than that, we're good on town fund 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Good.
We're all-
Excellent. All right, give me 1 minute. I need to do one thing. I'm not sure how to do that. Rich, where is he? Rich.
Yes.
All right. How do I change a co-host? Is he muted too? Jesus, everybody's muted.
So what are you trying to do? You're trying to add a co-host?
Yeah.
Just click on the name and then under more, it'll say add, make co-host.
Okay. Click on the name. All right, I have a. Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's not doing it. All right, hang on. I'm gonna have you do it. How's that? You being the expert, Rich.
Yes.
I'm text because you have to run so many things. I don't want you to have to be a co-host. All right, and okay. All right. Is everybody done their bathroom breaks? Does anybody need one before, we start this?
I think I motion to adjourn the bill pay. And
Right,
then we
I
have
just
to
wanted to make sure you guys were all done. And nobody else needed a bathroom break. All right, second the motion. Thank you, Susan. Roll call, Viesha. Alrighty, Viesha, I really don't know if they can.
I'm here. You want me to call it?
Yes, thank you, Pete. Hi, Pete.
Hi, Laura. Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
Trustee Jones. She's muted.
Oh, trustees, you can unmute yourself. I did not mute you.
I wasn't here for bill pay, so I'll pass.
Okay. Trustee McKenzie,
Here.
I think we're doing a motion, a voting. on-
motion for bill pay
Just
Oh,
adjourn.
Yeah, and bill pay.
and to end bill pay.
Right, so we can move on. All in favor? Say
There we go.
aye.
sorry, I might have a bad connection.
Sorry. Can everybody hear Claire?
Yes.
Yes.
Claire, can you hear us?
Yeah, for a while there, it was like really slow and out.
That's the problem with technology. All righty. I am now going to call this meeting to order. The Maine Township Board meeting of Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. This meeting will be conducted by audio or video conference without a physically present quorum of the Maine Township Board at the township because of a disaster declaration related to COVID-19 public health concerns affecting the township. Pursuant to Senate Bill 2135 and subsequent declarations. The township supervisor, that being me, has determined that an in-person meeting at the building with all participants is neither practical nor prudent because of the disaster. Township officials, legal counsel may or may not be present at the township building if it is unfeasible due to the disaster. Physical public attendance at the township building may be limited or not feasible. Alternative arrangements for public access to hear the meeting, participate in the meeting were made available. Through Rich Lyons and as noticed by all the people we have publicly participating. The meeting will also be audio or video recorded and made available to the public as provided by law. So with that, Clerk Gilanis, can you take the roll? No, Pledge of Allegiance. Got the
Certainly.
flag? All right, please, everybody stand.
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
of the United
United
States
States
of
of
America,
America,
to the
and
republic
to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
one nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
justice for all.
liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
All right, now Clerk Gilanis, can you take the
Assessor Moylan Cry. She's
Here.
here. Okay. Highway Commissioner Kazmierczak. Clerk Gialamis here. Supervisor Marask.
Commissioner is here.
Pardon?
Highway Commissioner is here.
He's present.
Yeah,
Noted.
he's in the boardroom. He's
Oh, yeah,
there.
the boardroom's muted. Okay. I've got him.
Okay.
Clerk is here. Supervisor Marask.
Here,
Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee McKenzie.
here,
Trustee Carabota.
Here,
Trustee Sweeney.
Here.
all right. We have a really long meeting, so we are going to do this with alacrity and speed, which means the same thing. All right, I want a motion, or please, may I have a motion for approval of the January 26, 2021 bill pay? report?
Motion to approve bill pay for January 26th of 2021.
second,
Having a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Gilamis, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Marask.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie.
yes,
Trustee Carabota.
yes,
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to call for the approval of the minutes of January 26, 2021 board meeting.
Motion to approve minutes of January 26, 2021 board meeting. Waive the reading.
Is there a second?
second,
second,
Having a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? I have some discussion. I would like to strike page 7. I think it is inappropriate I was not at that meeting, but I have the minutes, and it is inappropriate to use a government website for political purposes. So I am asking to strike that, and I would like a second.
I
I
second.
second,
Second. Oh, sorry, that was the same motion I was going to make, but.
Okay.
whoever-
Motion in a second, or amend, I guess it's amend. So, we can, Carrie Lynn, do we vote on that? I gotta unmute her.
Okay,
Hello, Carrie
Which
Lynn.
do we vote on first? We vote on that, right?
on the motion to amend.
Yes, okay. So, Clerk
Wait,
Any,
we have discussion.
oh,
We've
I'm
had
sorry,
discussion.
any more discussion on that?
Yes, so what is being voted on right now is what I had submitted, which was an appeal on behalf of Choice, commenting on the electoral board and the decision that was made to deny taxpayers representation for Maine Township government, elected officials to be considered on the ballot. In this, the reason I felt that it was part of what I feel a responsibility for as a board member and a fiduciary is that it pertains to the upcoming election. It was a decision that was made by the electoral board of Maine Township. And as residents are the taxpayers that have actually funded the caucus for the Maine Township Republican Party, I felt it was very important and pertinent, transparent, accountable, and with integrity that I was stating a fact of what actually did happen. And that was that the electoral board struck down the right for the Republicans to be on the ballot. That has since been overturned by the circuit court, which reversed that decision. So I
Okay,
think it's
so
important.
I'm gonna stop you
elected
there
official-
because
Wait, if I can
again,
please not be
that
interrupted.
is not appropriate for a government. I wasn't at the January meeting. I understand it was done in your board report. It is not an appropriate board report. I believe Supervisor McKenzie tried to stop you at the time. And I don't, it's not appropriate. You can't use a government website where these minutes get posted to, I have nothing further to say. Does anybody else have any further discussion?
Yes, I was muted.
Yes,
I don't.
it's my turn.
Okay.
It's my
I
No,
turn.
was
you've
finished.
already spoken.
It's my
The
turn.
next person, Kim, calling on trustee Jones.
Yes, trustee Sweeney was admonished at the meeting. It's not only inappropriate to put it on the website,
wasn't-
but it's inappropriate to use it
Stop interrupting.
during the meeting. It's political propaganda and it's used during a governmental meeting and it is very inappropriate. And I think you could probably even use a word stronger than inappropriate because you cannot use public government time for political propaganda. So I echo Supervisor Moretz and Trustee McKenzie's sentiments and thoughts, and this should definitely be stricken because it is inappropriate.
Are you open for public comment?
I'm sorry. We're not at public comment yet, but I will allow that.
Go ahead, public comment.
Are you running the meeting, Dave?
No, I'm just trying to make sure that they
Yes,
heard Laura.
Please, I heard that.
Yeah, I heard too. Laura's right. I heard that.
So I am running the meeting. Please don't do that. And I am allowing it.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Public comment?
I think she just came off of mute.
Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt, but when is public comment available before you vote on something?
Public comment is number 7, and we're voting on the minutes, which is not typically like, unless you were present at the board meeting.
This is one of the reasons why I thought the minutes should be seen by the public.
Okay.
Well, for one thing, we have freedom of speech. We have freedom of speech, and it may not be considered propaganda. I am Susanna Tanis, and it's probably freedom of speech. Remember the Constitution, freedom of speech, and what you consider to be propaganda, it may not be considered propaganda. All right? And so then what I'm trying to say is we can put really whatever we want on a government website.
No, you can't.
Okay, yeah, we can, as long as it is in the boundaries And so as long as it's in the boundaries of freedom of speech, it's not offending anyone. It's not non-government. It is government, and it's freedom of speech, and it's not propaganda.
Okay. Thank you for your public comment. Anybody else on the board?
Dave Carabota.
Trustee Carabota.
I'm trying to remember, Laura, I believe, wasn't it, the minutes, I read them last week. Wasn't there a challenge to the bill for the township, the Republican caucus? Wasn't there a challenge raised to the bill at the same meeting? And these issues were.
It was a different meeting. I was not at last month's meeting.
Yeah, at last month's meeting, there was a challenge to try to vacate that bill and to reconsider our payment of that bill in December. Now it's coming back to me. So you kind of, in the area of the law, that was opened by Trustee Jones. So that opens the door on that issue. That's number one. And number two is minutes are to reflect what actually occurred at the meeting. And that's what actually occurred at the meeting. And I do concur that Trustee McKenzie did take control of the situation. She handled it very well, but it is our minutes to our meeting, and this is what occurred. So I would respectfully decline to support the motion.
Anybody else on the board? Not Susan. You've had your turn. We are doing each person, okay?
I think you.
Oh, I'd like to turn.
Trustee McKenzie.
Yes. I want to second what I said at the last meeting about how inappropriate it was. And the minutes are to reflect what the meeting was about, not what somebody decided they wanted to put on the record. So I don't think this is really apropos to board meeting minutes. This is one person's stand and one person's opinion, backed by others, I'm sure, but it's still not the township.
You froze. Shut. Okay, she does have a bad connection.
Business that was conducted that night. It had nothing to do with township business that night.
I agree with you. So I think everybody on this board has spoken. And Clerk Tilamis, can you take the roll?
Supervisor Moran.
I had my hand up for
everybody's spoken.
No, but Supervisor Morask, may I suggest, was Trustee Sweeney, did you terminate her discussion? Yes. Or was it ended? I thought you terminated.
She terminated me.
Yeah.
Unless I'm wrong.
Yes, she terminated me. And I have another change I want to make that didn't happen in the minutes, and you're not allowing that discussion.
Different change other than this, but we're voting on this first. Then we'll go back to that.
Well, I can amend an amendment.
Okay, Carrie Lynn, first we have to vote on the amendment.
Well, why don't we vote on this amendment first, and then after this amendment, if you have another amendment, you can make that.
Right.
Correct. Okay, Clerk Tilamis, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Morask. You were, yes, it was your amendment.
Yes to strike. Or take it out.
Correct. Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
No, this is not transparent. The taxpayers are paying.
Trustee Carabota?
They deserve to know. I want that in the record in my vote.
Trustee Carabota?
Thank you, Clerk Tilamis. My vote is no for the reasons I've presented on the record.
Thank you all. Now, Trustee Sweeney, what is your next amendment?
Page 5, Trustee McKenzie had stated, as we all talked about, that Trustee Sweeney's report, in her opinion, was not an official's report, and it says it's not an official's report. But she did not say it was inappropriate to be in the minutes. I listened to the tape. There was no mention that it was not to be included. So I would ask to strike and end the sentence with Trustee McKenzie stated that Trustee Sweeney's report is not an official's report. Period.
Second.
But I did say it was inappropriate, and then I would think it should be added to my comments.
All right, Trustee.
You didn't, nobody commented on the minutes.
Trustee Jones, did you want to speak?
Yes, thank you. During Trustee Sweeney's report, I actually interrupted her and told her that her report was inappropriate because it was political. So if Trustee Sweeney would like to make that change, then I would like my comments added. Because I definitely told you it was inappropriate at that time because it's a political statement and you can't make a political statement at a governmental meeting.
So anybody else want to comment? Trustee Sweeney's amendment, other than Trustee Sweeney? Trustee McKenzie.
I just heard this amendment, so I haven't had a chance to go back and re-listen to the tape. So I'm fine with Kim substituting in if she's sure that's what she said. I would have to review the tape. But honestly, I think this is ridiculous that we have now spent 20 minutes on these minutes. This is not important business. These are minutes. And we have a lot more important things to go over. And I just think this is why our meetings don't go well. So I ask that you really consider that and really think about whether or not my intent was to tell you it was inappropriate or not, because it was. And so I'm on record right now telling you that, and whether it came out of my mouth or Kim's mouth doesn't really matter, because it was very, very evident and it was very clear that I did not think that you should be making these statements in your officials report. That was very clear. So if you want to, mince words and have a reference to the tape, fine. But I just can't believe we're spending 20 minutes in this. Honestly.
I can't either. That's why Trustee Carabota, you get the last word, and then short, and then we're gonna.
Thank you. Thank you. My only question is whether or not that language is on that tape. And Susan has told us over and over that it's not. She's done this so many times before and has been accurate 100% of the time over 4 years. So I'm simply saying that language is not on the tape. We can't go supplementing language. It's not what we're supposed to do. If it's not on the tape, I concur with the amendment. That's why I concur with the amendment.
Well, then we have to take a pass because we all have to view the tape then.
No,
right.
we don't. Clerk Tilamis, can you call the roll on Trustee Sweeney's amendment?
Supervisor Marask,
No.
Trustee Jones,
No.
Trustee McKenzie,
No.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
Any other amendments to these minutes that we spent?
I have been muted like 10 times. So yes, I vote yes. See the tape and I'm telling the truth. And it's a shame that.
Done with that issue. Are there any other amendments that you have to the actual other minutes?
No.
Hearing none, then let's call the roll on the actual minutes. Clerk Tilamis.
Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee
Wait.
McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
No.
Trustee Sweeney.
No, for all the reasons I just said.
Okay. Now I would ask for a motion for approval of the general assistance town expenditure.
Make a motion for approval of the payroll and for pay dates of February 5, 2021 and February 19, 2021, and general town fund checks number 58378 through check 58453 in the amount of $307,891.24.
I will second that motion. Having a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? None. Clerk Tilamis, will you call the roll?
Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
I'm going to abstain.
Trustee McKenzie,
You know what? I have a bad internet connection. I did not hear what we're voting on. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, TA expenditures?
Just, Dave just read what is on our sheet.
Yes,
Correct,
Okay, so we're just approving, that's the motion,
yes,
correct.
approving the expense? Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
trustee Sweeney.
yes.
Now, can we get a motion on the general town fund expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of February 5th, 2021 and February 19th.
Oh, didn't we do town
Sorry.
fund?
I did, no. No, you just did general assistance and general town fund checks number 58378 through check number 58453 in the amount of $307,891.24.
I think we just did that one.
No, we did GA.
General
Now we're
assistance.
doing
Yeah.
town fund. I skipped
We
road
did.
and bridge. We'll go back to that. I forgot. So, sue me. But can we just vote on town fund?
Did
Does
we have a second to
anybody-
that?
We're doing,
Second,
okay,
Okay.
having a motion and a second for town fund approval. Is there any discussion?
Just one. I just have a question because this is to Carrie Lynn. I noticed that there were no attorney fees submitted from Ansel Glink for the month. Is there a reason why or?
Yes, I had 47 election cases that I handled over the past month, and I just haven't had it time to turn in my billing records.
Okay, and on that note, for legal expenses, I just want to make sure, because I noted that you were present, you had submitted a brief and you were also present for the electoral, the circuit court. You won't be billing the township for that, correct?
Yes, that is required to be paid by the township.
For representation, even though we had Attorney Casper present, providing a brief, and also,
I was representing the electoral board, so I needed to prepare the administrative record.
is that part of the law? Are you giving me like a legal opinion that you needed to submit that brief and be present?
That's what the standard procedure is with the representation of electoral boards.
Okay, even though there was representation from Michael Casper.
I wasn't representing a political party. I was representing the members of the electoral board.
Okay, is that the reason for the brief as well? To
It
represent
was,
the electoral
it,
board?
yeah, it was
I'm sorry,
supporting
what
the
does this
electoral
have to
board's
do-
decision. It wasn't advocating for a party. Electoral boards can't, by law, act as an advocate of a party under a second district case called Kozenzak versus DuPage County, but there's a case called Zurich versus Franklin Park in the first district, which says electoral boards can file a brief. That's what we did. We filed a brief.
Okay. That's my only,
Okay, so, Clerk Jalamis, would you like to call the roll?
Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
trustee Jones,
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't at the bill pay.
trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
trustee Carabota,
Yes.
trustee Sweeney.
yes.
Now I need a motion to approve road district, or I didn't do. that,
No,
right?
we didn't do road
No.
district.
Didn't do road.
All right,
Motion
so
to
now
approve
I-
payroll
Thank you.
for pay dates of February 5th, 2021 and February 19th, 2021, and road district checks number 21698 through check number 21734 in the amount of $135,289.24.
Second.
Second.
Having a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Jalamis, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
trustee Jones,
Abstain.
trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
trustee Carabota,
Yes.
trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
And Supervisor Marask, could I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm wondering if you could indulge me because when I read into the record approval of checks, I read the town fund. So if I read the town fund, we did road district. I really don't think we read into the record the GA. I was wondering if we just.
I
do the
don't
pay.
I
either.
don't think you did either, like the actual amount.
So I'm wondering if that's okay, if I could make that motion, would that be
Yeah,
okay?
that's fine. So we're just gonna add this.
Thank you. So I'll make a motion to approve payroll for pay dates of February 5, 2021 and February 19, 2021, general assistance checks number 53203 through checks 53253 in the amount of $42,741.07.
Second,
All right, motion and second. Any further discussion, which we already had? Clerk Giovanni, can you take the roll?
Supervisor Marasque,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Abstain.
Trustee McKenzie,
yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
Okay, next order of business is personnel. And I am pleased to announce that Clerk Giovanni has a person to replace the part-time deputy clerk position. Clerk Giovanni, would you like to speak?
Yes, thank you, Supervisor Marasque. As most of you know, we had our longtime Deputy Clerk, Roz Lubrick, retire in the beginning of February. She'd been with us for 16 years, but she was, definitely ready for retirement and looking forward to starting a new chapter. So that being said, we had an opening. We've had an opening here now for a little bit. But thankfully, Viesha and Kathy have kind of stepped up to handle everything while Roz has been gone. So now we would like to, after reviewing a couple resumes, hire Eva Magnowski on a part-time basis to replace the hours that Roz's departure has left vacant. And that would be Monday through Friday from 1 to 5 p.m. She may come in a couple extra hours here and there as well to fill in as need be. But that would be her main hours would be 1 to 5.
So this is, as we call it in zoning, a repair and replace.
Correct. Yeah, strictly replacing Roz, who did retire.
And she's the mirror image to Kathy, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So I'll make a
Yeah,
motion.
Kathy comes in the morning hours, 9 to 1, and then Roz would come in 1 to 5.
Right, otherwise Viesha would be alone handling passports, FOIA, and everything else she had.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to hire Eva Magnowski for the part-time deputy clerk position. This position is to replace and fill the afternoon schedule 1 to 5. There are no benefits. There is no pension. There is no IMR. This is due to Roz Luberich's retirement. The hourly rate would be $15 with the starting date of March 1st, 2021. Is there a second?
Second.
Having a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Trustee Sweeney.
Yes, just for, transparency, I had asked Dana what the previous salary that Roz was, and I think was closer to $18. So there's actually a reduction here, right?
That is
Correct.
correct.
Okay, that's all I wanted to.
It is always doing cost savings for you. So anybody else? Hearing none, Clerk Giovanni, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Marasque,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yeah, looking at the background and the information provided, the resume, very, very qualified. And I also join Eva on being a Yorkie enthusiast. So I am voting yes.
I
and
never.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
All right. I thank you all. My staff
Thank you, Peter.
thanks you as well, because they've been a little shorthanded here the last few weeks. Appreciate it.
Right. Moving right along. Now we are up to public participation. Would anybody like to publicly participate at this point?
The girl raised his hand.
All right, wait. Earl raised his hand. Did anybody else? I'm gonna call on Earl. Oh,
I am Susanna Tanis on telephone.
Susanna, first, there's somebody else ahead of you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
So public comment is about anything, not on any special category. It could be on anything.
Suzanne, we cannot censor public comment, but having said that, our public comment rules are like public comment should be about a board agenda item. So, you know, we can't censor you. So there you go. Earl, you're up.
Thank you. Very simply, I just want to say I am extremely grateful to be on the ballot in April and give the residents of Maine Township a choice. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Earl. All right. Susanna Tanis.
Yes, hi. I want to thank everybody for being there.
Hang on. Can you identified your name? Can you identify your town, please?
Des Plaines.
Thank you.
Again, I want to thank everybody for doing all that you do during these challenging COVID times. I am concerned that more families and individuals will need help. And I'm also concerned that we have to help them, but not at the expense of higher property taxes. And I've been talking about this for over 15 years. The money is there in publicly traded trillion-dollar and billion-dollar corporations and banks and other corporations and banks. That's where the money is. And it's important for stock shareholders to get returns according to the true profitability of them, which means not only you and I, and we know Amazon and Microsoft do not have a down day. And the lies have to stop. Robbing Maine Township to help people. And we could be getting checks from many corporations and banks. School systems, Cook County, state of Illinois, that need the money. And USA that needs the money. And families, if they were getting returns like they should be getting, they'd have money to put their kids through college. And I'm saying we have to be open to allow that to happen. And one day it's going to happen. But I believe the years 2021 is not going to be better than 2020. And 2022 and 2023, we're going to see more severe and frequent hardships. All right? They're going to increase. And I see what happened in Texas. The people didn't have water for 6 days because the people were turning on their heat. They never saw freezing weather before like that. And the people had to make decisions, said, well, we're going to shut off the water.
Suzanne, I got to give you the 30-second warning. So
okay, you can.
Wrap it up.
All right. I appreciate that. I'm just letting you know. The money is there. Also, the state of Illinois should be smart enough to know that they should just raise the taxes on corporations and banks that have the money, the wealthy ones. All right? Rather than going to the property tax people, which is you and I, the people who pay property taxes, don't raise our taxes. Go where the money is. And that's where the money is. And tell the state of Illinois they need to tax them more so Maine Township and Des Plaines have the money it needs.
Thank you, Susan.
And I said my piece. And I don't want it to go through one ear and out the other. It's time to get on your phone, all of you, and me, and let Governor Pritzker and the state legislators and the federal legislators know they have to change their ways.
Suzanne,
Because it's
we
not
have
promoting the,
time.
it's not promoting the welfare and it's not constitutional and it has to stop.
Okay.
Stop robbing us, and go where the money is and get the money there.
Thank you, Suzanne. Anybody else? Public comment? All right. Seeing none at this time. Next item is new business. Discussion and vote on seamless docs subscription. This is really a continuation. I didn't mean to bring it to the board, but we always told you we would bring a contract. So it's a continuation of what we've been doing. I think Trustee Sweeney in January had talked about the website and putting more things as links and PDFs. That's what Seamless Doc does. So Rich had, actually priced some other places. We have a fantastic amount with Seamless Doc. So it's a renewal, and we're going to renew. They can't do a month to month. Our lawyer tells us we can do a 6 a year. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the Seamless Docs contract.
Second.
Having a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, Clerk Talamas, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Marask,
Yeah.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
All right, next order of business is the landscaping contract. We have a similar situation. Simon, who I'm not sure if he's there or not.
Here.
He is? Okay. But he made a very thorough
Hi, Michael.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Dave.
Mike,
Hi, Laura.
want to say a few words? Short.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. So just getting ready for spring. As you saw in the board packet, I'm putting a proposal in for NJ Castillo. Same price as last year, $13.50 a month. No increase during this pandemic or anything. I did reach out to other companies, but obviously due to all the snow coverage outside, companies did not feel that it would be fair to give us a price. Wouldn't be fair to us, would not be fair to them. So like I said, I'm proposing NJ Castillo. We've been with them for a long time. They do remarkable work for us, as I said in the memo. So putting it out there to see if it's something that wants to be voted on tonight and to go through with it.
All right, I'll make a motion to renew our contract with NJ Castillo. Is this 6 months or a year?
It runs from April through November, I believe.
Right, it's seasonal, so that's even better. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, I should have said the amount. Well, the amount is as listed in the board packet of $13.50 a month, and one-time charge for core aeration, overseeding for $350, and a one-time charge for fall cleanup for $250. Same as we paid last year. Unlike some of these other companies, nobody tried to, they didn't try to raise it.
And it includes the spring cleanup and 5 cuts and seasonal trimming.
Oh yeah, they're really good.
It includes one.
I think our township building looks really good, like when there's not 18 inches of snow. Are there any other comments? Hearing none, Clerk Talamas, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yeah, just as Richard Lyon provided us with a very good report for our last decision. Michael's done a great job here, so it makes it very easy to vote yes.
Thank you.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, thanks, everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mike.
Mikey.
All right, so the next item is, first, a discussion and vote on the continuing resolution 2021-2, which is for the township. As you all know, having done this for 4 years, some people more. There's a lag time between the end of the fiscal year and when the budget is passed. So the continuing resolution allows the township to operate. And I think you have it in your board packet, so I will make the motion to pass continuing resolution 2021-2. Is there a second?
Second,
Having a motion in 2 seconds, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, trustee Sue.
I think I just want to make a comment that, we've talked about this the last several years, that it would be, I think it's possible to do a budget before, the fiscal year ends, or maybe within the next month, but it seems like we're always down to the, to the wire and the end of the first quarter of the fiscal year, which begins March 1st. So I would just suggest that we try to move that up. I mean, I'm not going to be on the board again, but it's just.
None of us will be. So maybe whoever is will take your suggestion, but there are certain dates set by law. So.
That's it.
All right. Clerk Telemus, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
I'm going to vote yes, but also keeping in mind that we do have a draft budget presented by Dana Berman on February 23. With that draft budget pending, I am going to vote yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
All right. Now I need I'm going to do a motion for the continuing resolution 2021-RB-1. Waive the reading thereof, which is the same exact thing for the road and bridge district.
Second,
Having a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And yes, you can adopt your comments, Trustee Sweeney and Trustee Carabao.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm assuming you both want to adopt.
Both adopted, so good.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, having said that, any other comments? Hearing none, Clerk Telemus, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
yes.
Trustee McKenzie. I think she's froze.
I think she froze.
Oh, there we go.
Are you there?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, we're calling the roll. Trustee
Yeah,
McKenzie,
I didn't hear you, sorry, yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
The next item, I'm gonna motion to table, and that is discussion on the fiscal year 2021-2022 preliminary budget for town fund, GA, road and bridge. Is there a second?
Second,
Having a motion and a second, we have to vote on this first, and the reason that I don't know if I can say, Carrie Lynn, I have to unmute you. The motion to table is because it's too early, and I think it's appropriate for the next board to consider, not our board, but we can put it on the March agenda if that's what you want, but there's nothing to discuss. It's a preliminary budget. We don't have budget hearings set. We have nothing set. So that's why I'm making a motion to table. Having a motion and a second, there's no discussion allowed. I just wanted to give my reason for that. Clerk Jalamis, can you call the roll on that?
Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
No,
Trustee Carabota,
No.
Trustee Sweeney.
No. And I don't understand why we're tabling it. This is the first presentation. It just doesn't make sense to me.
The reason that I gave is the reason. I think it's the height of hubris for us to set a budget for the next board.
I think it's our,
I disagree.
I would think it's our
Well, it can all
responsibility.
be changed, so it's sort of a moot point. So, go ahead and discuss. Who's first?
Well, I think it would be helpful for Dana to kind of go through some things. You know, she took some time, which I appreciate, Dana, to put together some data that's in the board packets for everybody to see online that talk about like what our actual expenditures were for the years 2019-20, and then what is estimated to finish out this year with 2021, which ends in the next week. So we can see what our actual expenditures were. And then I think, you know, having a discussion about the 21-22 budget and why, why Dana thinks we need what we do, and likewise for Wally in the road and bridge. But I think, to not have a discussion about it doesn't make sense. A new board is coming in cold, and I think there's people on both sides, Republican and Democrat, that are part of, that have been part of our board meetings and looking at this, and it just would help to have some things out in the open and discussed. I know one of the things in particular that both, I think Trustee McKenzie and I know felt the same, that, we should be looking at things like our Beyond a Cadillac healthcare plan, and whether we're factoring in the same costs for that. Right now we have where the township, the benefit to the employees, which is great, that they get 95% coverage, and then I guess it's 90%. And then the township picks up that 90% and they only put in 10% premium. So there's different, packages that could be considered for that. I don't know if that's factored in to, just do the same like we have done in past years. But that's been a discussion the past couple of years, that we should look at considering some reductions there. And I'm just wondering if you could go through some of the actual expenditures, tell what it is year over year, the increase, and what you expect in this, what you've been asked for in this next budget. So if you can make any comments, Dana, that would be appreciated.
Okay, Laura, did you want me to go ahead?
Well, you can, but I'm gonna say something. I think it's like way too preliminary to ask Dana to do this. That's why she did it. It wasn't because she's still in the midst of having department head meetings and whatnot to figure out the budget. Not to mention the next year is completely unknown, completely unknown. We had an entire COVID crisis, so we have no idea, which is why, in my opinion, it's better left to the next board. But Dana, you can Dana's not justifying this budget. This is basically, in my understanding, using the same numbers, right?
Well, you know what, can I do a screen share of I provided a budget and I provided a worksheet. If I just, for the people that are participating in the meeting, I don't know if they have the paperwork with them. If I can just bring up the worksheet. Let's see if I know how to do this. I think it might be easier.
I allowed it, so there you go.
Thank you, Laura. Okay, so I'll just kind of give a short explanation of what I did here. And I think you're right. A lot of this is really a guesstimate, especially with this last year. The entire fiscal year was spent, unfortunately, in a COVID pandemic, and was not really a true average spending of what our expenditures normally are. Even our revenues was skewed. But let me just kind of show you what I did. So the column here to the right will reflect the other document that was supplied in the board packet, which is just a preliminary budget. So that would be obviously for fiscal year 21-22. This is a beginning balance number that was provided by our accountants. So again, I'm just doing what I think may come in. So you're starting with revenues here. It's hard to say, you know, because I believe that we're still in the pandemic. I don't know when it's going to end. I think it could be another few months or another year until things are maybe back to normal. So what I did is fiscal year 2021, I did estimated actuals. I started working on this right after the last board meeting as was requested of me. And at that point, I only had spending for the end of December. So I did a guesstimate of the last 2 months. So I also included a column of the previous year, which I did have actuals of fiscal year 1920, which I think is a better reflection of our true spending, was not in a pandemic. And this kind of reflects more of a better picture of revenues and expenditures for the township. So let's just kind of scroll down. This is on our website. So obviously, you know, people can kind of take a better look at this when they have more time. So this is all of town fund. These are all the departments in town fund, and these are just comparisons for the 2 fiscal years. And then this is what I put as a preliminary budget, which is the column all the way on the right-hand side. So I'm just going to kind of quickly scroll down here. You see there's our capital fund, which is 250,000. I just put all the way straight across. I'm going to quickly kind of just go down through here. I assume you don't want me to go through each line item. Will you be here all night? So if we go down, let me just go down to town fund, all the way down to town fund. Okay, so here we are down to town fund. Here, let's just go right here. So actual estimate for this year, I predicted a little over 4 million. The year prior was about 4.1 million. And again, I'm predicting what I would like to budget is about 4.1 million. That is a difference of, hold on one moment, please. I don't have my calculations. I thought I figured this out, but as you see, this is still under fiscal year 1920, which is again an average true spending of what we do here at the township. What I predicted that we were going to spend at the end of this year, we obviously had to put a lot of programs on hold. We did a lot of things through Zoom. So again, not knowing when that's going to end. So let's just go down to general assistance. General assistance obviously was a little bit reversed. We had a lot of people that were out of jobs, had more medical needs, had no food. So this was a little bit opposite of town fund. So here you'll see, this year, we were at about 617,000. Last year, 608,000, not a big difference, but again, this was higher than the previous year. I'm predicting next year 638. So what I did here, if you total the two, 4.7 million as opposed to 4.6, and the previous year 4.8. I would like to compare this to the previous year when we weren't in a pandemic. So I did come out lower than actuals. Again, don't forget I'm comparing actuals. I'm not comparing a budget to a budget. All right, and then if you look at the last page, this is what Chris, our accountant, don't forget, has us do when I am adding in our mainstreamers fees, and then I am deducting the capital fund. So here is where you'll notice when we have our programs, we bring in quite a bit of money. That money, obviously, we turn around and put back into the programs. So because we did quite a few programs on Zoom, we didn't bring in that much money. So this is quite skewed. So my bottom line number here is for this fiscal year, I'm requesting 4.5 million. Actuals, I'm predicting at 4.5 million. Previous year, 4.9. So that was a very, very quick summary.
Yeah, and if I can just comment on that page.
Hold on, I have one more thing. I know you mentioned, Susan, health insurance. I talked to Catherine, our health insurance broker. She does not have any numbers. We came in at 4% increase last year. I actually went high for this preliminary budget, and I put in a 7% increase. So there's a good chance that our health insurance line items for every department, which again, you guys can look on your own, will actually even go down, which will make our bottom line number even less. So, and I don't think she's going to have that number until the end of April or May, which I think is usually when she comes to do a presentation.
Mhm.
Okay, may I comment now, Dana? Or are you still?
Yeah, of course.
Interrupt you. Okay. Yeah, I might note a couple things in the 1920 actual year. So that mainstreamers program fees. So the expenses usually, actually what we do, it's pretty much of a wash from what we've seen in past years. In fact, we actually made some money. So we have an expense side and then we have revenues that come in because people pay for the programs, like Dana said, in mainstreamers. So we actually netted up 14,000. So even though it shows the 407,000 that we need to appropriate, you know, the fact is that we actually, that's offset because the revenue we brought in was like 420,000 or something. It was 14,000 more.
14. The revenue was 414.
Almost like a
and
wash. So our
yeah.
real expenditure, which gets down to, and obviously the reason went to 57,000, you know, in what we're spending is because, and that will be pretty much a wash too. I think you're spending a little bit more, 57,000. You said
Mhm.
the revenue might be a little bit lower, like under 50, but
Right.
it's still pretty much wash. The
50,
capital fund is 250,000. We appropriate for that, but we're not necessarily spending that. That is just there as a bucket so that when we have expenses that we don't, you know, that come up that haven't been budgeted for, that we, you know, obviously we've had some things in our parking lot and we had mold and we had things that, you know, came up unexpectedly that we had to address. And we thought it would be, we just started a capital fund 2 years ago, but with the intent that no matter what we do, you know, it's a board decision for every project that we have, because otherwise it should be, you know, pretty much budgeted for.
I want to show you,
Go back to that page one more second. I just
Right,
want to.
and then I want to show you something on page 10, because if you take out the capital fund and you take out the mainstreamers and you're just getting in straight town fund and straight GA, then this is what you're looking at. You're looking at a comparison of these numbers right here. And this is probably what you're referencing. This is probably what you want to reference right here.
Okay, so you have 4125, but if you go back to that sheet again, yeah, see the actual expense is 3,932, 3,932 plus whatever the difference is between the mainstreamers, because we don't know what we're going to spend in capital fund. I don't know if we have anything earmarked yet, you know, that we are planning to spend out of that. Do you know, or do you?
What we're planning to spend the rest of this year or next year?
Well, for capital fund for next year, because we could just budget for it and it wouldn't come out of that capital
I
fund.
mean, I'm told we are planning on putting 250 in again. That's the plan. The projects, we haven't just, I'm still discussing that with department heads.
Okay, so that might actually be budgeted for and not necessarily in capital fund if we budget for it. So, I mean, the expenses that we know of are 3,932,000 plus whatever we decide to do in capital fund, which is, you know, like this year, what did we spend? 50,000, something like that, Dana?
Yeah, but I guess I'm not understanding what you're saying. What are you, what are you saying?
I'm saying what our expenses, you know, what the budget really is. We're appropriating for the 250, but that doesn't mean we're planning to spend that. We're spending 3,932 plus 3,932 plus whatever we see as extra that we want to spend out of a capital budget, but we might budget for it. The new board might budget for it. Doesn't have to be, it's not, you know, it's just a placeholder if we want.
Right, so that's why, okay.
Yeah. So our true, I guess what I'm saying is if you look at the actual on the 2020.
That's what I'm saying. So if you look, if you take out capital fund, completely take it out, then you're looking at a straight 4.1 million right here.
Yeah.
And then you can just add that to the GA, which is 638, and you're getting this 4.7, which is really a straight number of then what I think expenditures will be. You following me?
Well, last year, okay, so this year, you think we've spent 3,882,745. We've spent 3,882,000. That's what you estimate, right?
Where is that number at?
2021 actual.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm sorry. Yep.
So, I guess I don't see where the 4,125,000 is, because you deducted the capital. I mean, the reason you came up with 3,932,000, which is an increase of 100,000, is because you're deducting the capital fund, because you don't know what we're going to spend out of that. We might not spend anything out of that. I'm just trying to figure out actual expenditures. And one of the reasons I say this is because when the next thing that we're going to talk about here is the abatement. So I'm trying to figure out what, like as an estimate, you think we actually would be spending. I know we have to appropriate for the capital fund.
Right
but-
here. This is what I think we're actually going to spend. 4.6 million, right? This right here.
Okay, so.
You see where I got that number, Susan? It's this number here from town fund and this number here from GA.
Yeah, it's just that
Okay.
you're counting on spending 250 and we're not going to spend that, probably. That's there for safe, we clearly did a capital fund, not with the intent to spend it all, just in terms of a crisis.
Well, for the last 4 years, I have always been told by the board to put this in the budget, 250,000. So unless I'm told otherwise, I continue to do
No,
it.
and I do appreciate what you're saying. We're budgeting for it, we're appropriating for it. We
Right.
are.
I mean, I've never been told to do the budget any different.
The expenditures look like they're going to be more like based on last year, if we're still, depending, we were in a pandemic, but we spent 3,882,000. So, I guess that's why I was saying the 3,932 is the 4,125,000, but it takes out the capital fund, because we don't have anything identified yet that we're going to actually spend out of the capital fund. So, but anyway, that being said, I don't know if anyone else has any comments about it, but
I'm gonna actually just take this off the screen so we can go back to the meeting.
Did we lose Laura?
Anyway, Dana and Susan, that was pretty thorough. That was more than I was expecting, so.
Sorry, I feel like it was super confusing.
No, it's very good. It's very good. Hi, Claire. Where do we lose Laura, though?
I think looks like she leave.
Claire, why don't you go ahead, Claire?
I just wanted to say that thank you, Dana, for all of the work and all the department heads as well. But I don't think we're going to get any better information than we have right now.
No.
And we really should have passed a budget before this point. And so putting it off till July is, I think, irresponsible. And putting it off to the new board, I also think is irresponsible.
well, we can't put it off more than one quarter, right? So it can't be up to July. It has to be done by end of May. That's the latest, right? We have one quarter.
March, April, May, correct.
Yeah, when's our last board meeting again that we're going to be?
April. In April.
That's the April 23rd, isn't it, or something like that?
See.
But anyway, I think that we're in the best position to be discussing this budget, especially with the pandemic and the big swings that we see. I think that we're in the best position to discuss and address what Dana is saying, what other things we hear about the swings, and what the department heads are asking for as far as their budgets. So maybe we need another budget hearing like we've had in the past. I personally don't need one, but if we need that, then let's put that on the books.
That'd be great. It's a great
Okay.
idea.
Sounds good.
So is that a special meeting, Carrie Lynn, or can we do it at the next March
I would
meeting?
I would suggest a special meeting and not put it off to the next meeting if we can.
Yeah.
What was that? I'm sorry. Am I?
I was,
I'm not
I
getting
would
perfect
suggest that,
internet tonight.
I would suggest that we set it now and not wait till the next regular board meeting. If we can have
Okay,
a special
so-
budget.
So can we do that?
Yeah, let's do that. Let me get, I've been going back and forth because I'm looking for my book here, but let me grab my book real quick.
Dana, what do you think time-wise? Because you said, you know, Laura was making the point that you can't possibly know this soon. I don't know. What do you, when do you think you'd be prepared?
I mean, bills and invoices still trickle in March. So, I
But
mean, we
we
have
can
another,
accrue for that. I mean, Chris can accrue for that easily.
right,
That's his job.
right. So I
Um,
mean,
How did you do in your estimate of January as compared to what the actual was?
pretty close.
Okay.
So what dates
I mean,
would
if
be?
you
Usually
made
the
the, nu-
numbers don't
Are you-
veer
are you-
far from,
right, I mean, are you talking about making another meeting to see if the numbers change, or just making another meeting so we can delve more into a conversation outside of the regular board meeting?
I would say the delving part would be really good.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
So I'm wondering what dates would be good for you, for all of us here.
Well, I think I asked the question as Dana, at what point she'd be ready.
Yeah,
I'm-
Dana, that's true.
I'm ready now.
See,
Like I said, I mean, February, obviously the fiscal year is over in another week or so, and bills and invoices will still trickle in the whole month of March, and some even in April. So, I mean, you know, but for the most part, I would say once February is over, I'll have a pretty good idea, you know, of what's in. So anytime is fine.
How about February 22? Is it
are we,
Tuesday?
have we lost Laura?
I don't know what happened to her. Can someone text her, or
I
Yeah.
have been, I sent her the link for the meeting. I don't know
get an
if
answer?
she's going to be
Okay.
able to sign back in, but
Okay,
we can pick a tentative meeting date even if she can't make.
To, the
She
week
makes a Wi-Fi stop, so she's troubleshooting trying to get back in.
okay.
February 16th, or
What
March,
did Rich just say?
He's
She's
troubleshooting.
He's
Troubleshooting.
having trouble getting in.
But I'm wondering what everybody thinks about February 22.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
I mean, not February 22.
March, no, March, the week of March 16th.
I was wondering about the week of March 8th, 9th, 10th.
I would say March 9th.
I actually will not, I'm gonna be out of town for a couple days. Yeah, that week I will not be here.
How about are you back on March 12th?
Okay.
If we
David,
can do anytime if we can do anytime after the 15th, actually. Sorry, I just realized that. I know I said anytime.
What about the
Taking that back.
The 16th possible?
Yeah, any day after the 15th, I'm totally open, so.
I'll do the 16th.
You know what? I'm going to be out of town that week.
Oh,
So I'd rather not do it that week because that's going to take
yeah,
too
the
much
next,
out of
not
the
good.
day.
And the whole week of the 8th is bad for you too, Dana?
I'm coming back the 10th, so the 11th is probably the only day. If that
11th.
works for everyone, the 11th is good.
Yeah, 11th will work.
Okay,
I can do the 11th.
I can do
Yeah.
the,
I can do the 11th.
Okay.
Good. All right, so what time would you say? The 7:30?
Can anyone do it any earlier?
yes.
I would prefer to start a little earlier because it's heavy material.
Right.
Should we do 7 p.m.?
Earliest you can do it, Dave. At 6:30 work?
It's gonna be kind of tight on my 11th. I mean, I can make it work, but is it possible to do 7 o'clock or that's too late?
Yes.
That's fine with me. Does that
Okay,
work for
let's
you,
do 7
Kim?
o'clock on,
Yeah, I can
Kim?
do that. Yes.
Great.
All right,
So
Great,
that's
thank you.
Thursday,
11th at
March
7.
11th at 7 o'clock for a budget hearing meeting, correct?
Yeah. Okay, great, thank
Laura
you.
Available just because
Now,
she's,
do we have to vote on that or just leave it just like that?
well, I mean,
Yeah, I think we should leave it like this right now.
Okay, let's leave it like that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear every other word. What did you say, Carrie Lynn?
Well, just wait to see if Laura's available and then she can schedule it.
Why don't we schedule it for the 11th? Let's take a vote on it to make sure we get it done. We can always change if Laura can't make it.
Yeah,
So if we can, I would make a motion to set a special budget meeting, hearing and meeting for March 11, commencing 7 PM. Do I have a second?
I
second,
second.
Peter, can you call the roll on that?
Can we do this without appointing someone as chair if Laura's not here?
That's a darn good point too. Can we have maybe
we can,
Make the motion in the second and vote on this, and then we'll appoint an acting chair.
how about if we have, we could, I would nominate Claire as acting chair. Could we do that?
You know what, Dave? You've been kind of acting as acting
All right,
chair. Can you
I'll
do it?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
There could be a second on that.
Second.
And let's take, Peter, if you could take the roll on that. Peter, you take the roll on that? I can't, oh, I'm sorry, you're muted. There he is.
Sorry about that. Here we go. Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
trustee Jones,
Yes.
trustee Sweeney.
yes,
Thank you, Clerk Gialamas. Make a motion to set a special budget hearing and meeting for discussion and vote on budget for March 11, starting at 7 PM. Do I have a second?
second,
Any discussion? Peter, if you can call the roll.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
trustee Jones,
Yes.
trustee Sweeney,
yes.
Okay, and now we have discussion and vote planning budget. We have, we're back, I think if I'm correct, if we look at the agenda, we're back at number 9, public participation again. Is that
correct?
correct? Any public participation? Hearing none, let's go to old business. Item number 10, discussion and vote on 6-month extension for Republic Services proposal, present RFP for waste hauler company. Would
Okay,
anyone
so-
like? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Dana, would you like to present?
So I have Tish Powell in the meeting. Are you there, Tish? Can we unmute her?
Yes.
Oh, there
She's
she is.
unmuted.
Okay, so in your board packet, you should have received the 6-month extension that she provided. And Tish, do you want to take it from here?
Sure. Thank you, Dana.
Sure.
Good evening, board. And I'm not sure where the supervisor went, but good evening to everyone. Proud here to represent Republic Services. My name is Tish Powell. I am the manager of municipal sales for Republic Services. We've been your service provider since about 2008. We are currently in year 5 of a 5-year contract that was signed by the board in 2016. And what you have in front of you is a 6-month extension based on conversations I have had with your township administrator, Dana Berman, and feedback obviously from the trustees at the last board meeting, voicing your desire to go out to RFP. So this 6-month extension basically gives you a continuous service and gives the new board that will be coming in the next few months the ability to look at additional service options based on the RFP that the township has recently released. But it gives it ensures that your residents have consistency of service for that 6-month period. And it includes your basically everything remains the same. It includes a 4% rate adjustment effective at the beginning of the contract term on April 1st and goes through September of this year. And I will note that based on a comment from Donna Adam at your last township meeting, Donna is with Clean Up Give Back. And I know she had made some comments at the last board meeting regarding some recycling education and cleanup efforts. Had a very good conversation with Donna a couple weeks ago. And we're looking hopefully to partner with Clean Up Give Back sometime this spring or summer when they have their next cleanup event. So was really excited to talk to her about that program.
Good.
And I'm available to answer any questions that you might have.
Anyone have questions? Have you had an opportunity, one of my questions, have you had an opportunity to discuss your proposal with Supervisor Marask, by the way? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
She's
Hello,
back.
Supervisor Marask. I would, and I can't hear you because you're muted. We got to unmute her. No, still got to
I'm a host. It's okay. I am muted.
Thank you. I make a motion to transfer the rest of the meeting to be handled, and again, back to Supervisor Marask. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do you have a call the roll on that, Peter?
Absolutely. Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney,
Yes.
and Supervisor Marask.
Well, I'm gonna abstain, but yes, I mean, like, sure. I don't
Welcome
know what
back.
happened during the half hour I was gone. I'm assuming you discussed the budget, but thank you, Dave.
We set a, the only thing we really did of significance, we had a very nice presentation from the public that we're still in the middle of. And we set it's a meeting, a special meeting, budget meeting for, what was our date? It's
March 11th at 7 p.m.
March
Yeah,
11th.
I
at
won't
7.
be able to make
March
it.
11th.
I have my son's 30th birthday and I'm starting a trial March 8th. March 7th is a court holiday. No, I'm sorry, March 2nd.
No, March 11th.
Wait, March 11th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm gonna
Yes,
be doing a
Thursday.
trial from the 8th to the 15th, so I won't be there, but that's okay.
Next week then. Does next week work?
No. Nothing works for the next, until March 15th,
Why is that?
because I'm starting a trial in the police board. You may have read about it today in the Tribune. That is very high profile that I'm starting March 8th. It had to get continued from the last time because I broke my hip. So
Okay, so from now till March 15th, you're booked.
completely, I'm prepping people and I'm hopefully going back to my office on Thursday. So you can do it without me, honestly.
You booked the whole week of the 15th then? Till the 18th, 19th?
I'm booked the week of the 8th through the
No, I'm asking Claire, because I think Claire was like, the week after that is what I was asking about.
Yeah, I'm out of town that week.
Never mind. And I can't do the following week, so I mean,
So why aren't we doing the regular March meeting?
Well, why don't we stick with March 11th as a budget hearing meeting? And if we don't succeed, we'll have the backup March regular board meeting.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, and you don't need me. I mean, you guys like, yeah.
We always need you.
Well, you didn't have me for a half hour there. We're like, and it still says on my laptop, unable to connect. which
Wow.
makes no sense. I'm on my iPad. So how far are we?
Republic's presentation on their proposal, and we heard some very, very good things, and we're wondering.
Good. So are we
we're on
ready to
comment
vote
for that.
on it? Tish, hi Tish.
Hi, Supervisor Morask.
And I
How are
want to
you?
personally thank you, Tish, for meeting, me in the middle, or actually more than in the middle. I really want to thank you
Absolutely.
for doing that 6 month and 4% as opposed to what we started with. So that's great. I don't know, like, I think the two things should be separated, the 6 month extension is, because I don't think we can do an RFP at the same time. Am I right, Carolyn?
Well, we don't, I mean, the RFP we shouldn't be doing the RFP at the same time that we're awarding the contract. So if we're
Right.
awarding the contract for the 6 months, we could do that and then let the new board do the RFP for whatever they want.
Right, so I'm not quite sure why an RFP was done. I had no idea because I wasn't at that board meeting, but we really can't do an RFP while we're signing a contract. They're sort of mutually exclusive.
I think the way that went was to look at the 6 month, to get the 6 month resolved, and then start up an RFP, not necessarily carry it through, but at least it gets started up for,
Right, but the point being that, 6 months is really plenty of time for that new board. I mean, it's, nice of you, but you can't do it simultaneously, is my point. Like, we can't sign a contract at the same time we're publicizing in the paper an RFP, which I didn't know we were doing.
Can I just make a quick comment real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So one thing that Carrie Lynn's colleague, Kurt, was at the last meeting, and he suggested to me to put an RFP in the newspaper and just collect proposals, because once, what happens is when the 6 month contract is up, we can't then decide, that we need to go out for an RFP and collect proposals. We kind of have to do that beforehand. So we have another waste hauler lined up, whether it's Republic or somebody else, but you have to start the process several months prior.
Right.
In fact,
but we
I have to-
can't do it when we're signing a contract.
Well, no,
Well, I thought-
the RFP would pertain to at the expiration of the contract.
So
So
that's fine, but that's not what, okay.
it would be, if we did this contract, it would end in 6 months, but it takes time to go through the process of looking at different vendors prior to
Right.
that month. That's
Right,
correct.
but my point is,
After-
that's something that I think the new board, whoever it is, once we sign this contract, I mean, even if you put the RFP next month, that's fine. I mean, great. But the new board can vote on, I mean, that's 6 months. We're giving them plenty of time. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
I agree that
I just think they should be separated out. That was my point.
If I can, I think I do recall, though, what Dana was saying is that our legal representation at the last meeting suggested that we at least get the RFP going. So, but what you're saying, Laura, is to sign the contract now, and then if we want to start an RFP, start it at the next meeting.
Yeah, because I think our legal represent, yes, I don't know.
Because, it's gonna take the new board some time to get their feet wet when it comes to all this. So I'd hate to leave it loose, so that would be my comment, would be to go ahead with the contract, and then let's do the RFP immediately after the contract is signed or is approved.
Laura?
Laura, we lost your volume, Laura.
now we can hear you.
Carrie Lynn, is that legal? Okay, now I've lost her.
Okay.
There you
right
are.
here. So they want to award if you award the contract tonight and then, then start the process for RFP for the renewal, that's fine.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to separate it out. So can we put those two items, is it okay if I ask for a vote on the Republic Service proposal, or did you need more info? I'm sorry, Tish, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think they all love it.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
second that.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Tish, I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Tish did a great job. We've been working long and hard, Dana, myself, and her to try to reach an accommodation. So I'm very glad we were able to do this, and I'm very glad you were able to do it, Tish. So having a motion to approve the 6-month extension for Republic Services proposal at the 4% increase that is discussed. And having a second, is there
Second, yeah.
further discussion on that? Hearing none, Clerk Gialamas, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Marasco,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
And then I would move to put the vote and discussion on an RFP on the next one. I guess that's a table. I don't know what you want to.
Is there any way of us just voting on that today, now that we've awarded the contract, Laura? Is that possible?
Can we do that?
Yeah.
What are we voting on?
Issuing an RFP, commencing an RFP process for the time period after the 6 months is expired.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like unfortunately already been in the paper, but
A continuation.
So I did the RFP was already composed. I
Good.
just put it in the newspaper last week. Proposals have not started to come in yet, and I just put a copy of the RFP in the board package just so the board can see it. But yeah, I think we are expecting the new board to actually, decide on, look at the proposals and decide on a waste hauler. But I just put a copy of it just for them to look at, but I haven't even received any proposals yet.
Okay.
So, I would second your motion, Laura.
Which was to put it on March agenda, right?
No, which is to
Just
commence the RFP for a time period beginning 6 months from now when this contract expires. So we continue on with the RFP.
That's fine. You have a second. It's really not my motion. It's
Did
your
you
guys'
say
motion,
Oh,
but
okay.
it doesn't matter to me.
Did you say we can't commence the RFP 6 months from now? We have.
No. The
Why not?
RFP is
We're
ongoing
commencing it now.
for the
To
time
take
period.
place 6 months from now.
Right.
I think Dave understands. I think we understand each other. So the RFP, as far as I know, would start in October.
Correct.
It's for the time period beginning October. That's
Yeah.
what we're getting RFPs for. Right.
Can't do, I guess that was my point. We can't do an RFP for current, like after just signing a contract. Does that make sense to everybody?
The start date is October 1st in the RFP.
Excellent.
Okay, so then, yeah, Laura's, my motion though would be to commence and continue the RFP process, looking at the time period of service beginning October 1st, 2021. That would be my motion.
Okay, and is there a second on that motion?
Second.
I'm sorry?
Second.
Okay, having a motion and a second, Clerk Gialamas, can you take the roll?
Supervisor Marasco,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
Cool beans. That might not be legal, but what the heck.
I think Carrie Lynn's got us covered.
No, I meant it might not be legal to say cool beans. It's not really a legal phrase, and let me put it that way. But okay, next item is, oh, we're getting close. Okay. Discussion and vote to abate property taxes as presented by trustee Sweeney. All right, on this, because we have so much background on it, I am going to limit everybody to 2 minutes. We, by the way, have about a 45-minute closed session about, first of all, I received an email at 6-ish tonight that was proposing to be an amendment by trustee Sweeney. We cannot consider that. It hasn't been on the agenda. It's not an amendment. It added road and bridge. And it cannot be considered.
Okay, well, we don't necessarily have to vote on everything, but I did put that I had requested discussion and vote on abating taxes. So I didn't specify what it was and what it wasn't.
You gave an ordinance.
Yes, I did submit earlier. I submitted an ordinance for the town fund and general assistance.
Right.
And today I added the road and bridge for discussion.
So
I got
our
that at 5 o'clock,
legal representation.
But so what I have is something that is I also sent you just prior to the meeting because I finished working on it. That I thought it would make sense to talk about what we already know. And then that sort of helps, explain why the ordinance is proposed, that I'm proposing the ordinance I have.
Okay, so I'm just stopping you for 1 second. So do you want to proceed on the ordinance that you had in the packet on the agenda? Because we cannot legally consider the one you sent at 6 o'clock.
Okay, can I interject?
Okay, I have a summary that I want to present prior to presenting the actual ordinance. So that
didn't have, no, this is really a simple
I
question.
can refer to Carrie Lynn and Robert Holman, where it's an extension of not being able to control the highway commissioners tax levy. So there's really nothing to discuss.
There's nothing, right.
Legal means, for abating taxes. You just can't have a board decision to abate.
You can't do it.
I want to have a discussion about if I can read what I have as a 1-page sheet, and I'm going to share this, then we can have a discussion about.
Oh, the last time we shared, I got kicked off. We really have to do, we got all your stuff. We can't.
This is
vote on your new one.
I understand if we can't vote on that's fine if we can't vote on the town, on the road levy. I specified that I wanted a discussion and vote on levies, but I don't know why I can't do it because I did ask.
You can discuss, but you can't vote.
Okay, so can you see this 1 page?
I think, excuse me. I think what the highway commissioner said was there's absolutely nothing discussed with regard to road and bridge because of we can't abate their levy anyway. And he gave, and it was hard to understand you, Wally, because you had your mask on, because of what Carrie Lynn and the other attorney said. So what he said was there's nothing to discuss.
Okay.
For the highway and bridge abatement. And I think that the lawyers will back that up. I agree.
There's a difference, as I understand it, and this is one of the questions I had between a levy and an abatement. An abatement is looking at what we have in reserves that's sitting in the bank and whether we can propose to abate, which we've done the last 2 years. And I'm suggesting we look at abating again this year.
Let's talk to the attorneys, Mr. Hope and Carrie Lynn. Am I right?
But I'd like to talk about the town fund and general assistance. I put some preparation into this because it's information.
Well, the highway commissioner has the jurisdiction over the levy, and this is abating the levy. So.
Yes, I recognize
I'd
that.
like to defer to attorneys because they know the law and they know whether or not there's anything to discuss.
Okay. That was gonna be one of my questions about it.
Can Mr. Holden discuss?
Well,
this?
we've said it so many times that it's
Right.
hard to believe it's a question.
There's a difference between setting a levy and an abatement.
Well,
If we have money in reserves, right? Are you saying that we cannot abate a road district?
That's what our attorneys are saying. So
Well-
if our attorneys
wait
want
a
to
minute.
say it again, they
Hold on.
can say it again.
Hold on, Carrie,
They can abate it if they have an agreement of the highway commissioner. I don't think they have an agreement of the highway commissioner.
That's why I wanted to have a
Correct.
discussion. That's exactly-
No, he's not agreeing
Okay,
He said there's nothing to discuss.
with respect to the highway.
okay.
Oh.
Can I just ask a question about that? Then, right now, we have over $3 million in reserves for the road and bridge fund. Can you see this sheet?
No, because I don't have.
Are you able to
screenshots
see this?
on
You're asking for a $2 million
I'm sorry.
abatement when we only generate 1.9 million in property tax revenue. What kind of abate? That's,
You know what? Let's let
maybe-
Susan
maybe
just
my
verbally
you will want to gut the
do
finance.
your 2 minutes. Wally, you're
I
absolutely
haven't
right.
even gotten to- I mean, I wanted to just, first of all, can you see the screen I have up?
No,
No.
Okay, so something.
So, you know,
because we can't do screen sharing from an iPad.
not on the agenda, there may not be anything to discuss here because it's not on the agenda. It was
Right.
submitted an hour before the meeting.
Right, you can discuss but not
Screen
vote,
sharing.
but like for road, there isn't anything. Are you wanting to discuss, Susan? That was my original question. Are you wanting to discuss abating town fund and GA?
Yes, and I also wanted to ask questions about the road fund. That's why I
Why
brought it.
don't you ask the lawyers those questions first?
Okay, is it possible to abate, given, I understand that Wally, as the highway commissioner, would be, agreeing with this. I don't exactly know how the vote goes because the board, makes a decision. It's the board that appropriated the money. It was the board that voted it. So if you look at our ordinance and what we voted, the board did vote on that. So can we vote to abate? And this is not affecting his budget. It's accommodating his budget by saying, can we source some of the money that we have out of reserves that he needs?
Does an attorney want to answer that question? No?
Yeah, you can only abate if the levy of the highway commissioner, if the highway commissioner agrees to that.
Okay, so that's a question. That's why I wanted this up for
Well,
discussion.
I'm not going to agree to it.
Okay.
Oh. Laura, unmute Robert Hoban.
Oh, yeah, I didn't, okay, I didn't mute him. All right, hang on.
Oh,
There,
hi,
he's
Robert.
unmuted.
Hi, Robert.
Yeah. Maybe you want to address some of Susan's inquiries about the ability for the board without the highway commissioner's consent to abate property taxes.
I'm not saying
Sure.
without your consent. I wanted to go through why I'm asking and then.
Okay, I read this.
He's not gonna consent.
Yeah, okay. You have several
We have a discussion?
I have 2.6 million levied, but we've gone through this ad nauseum for 4 years. I only get about 1.9.
I know.
You reduce it down to 2 million, maybe I'll have.
No, I'm not suggesting, we already have a levy extension of 2,605,000. We have $3.2 million in reserves.
That we never got to 2.6 and we won't.
I understand that.
The distribution, the general road fund, property tax that you.
So the question for the attorney is, if we abate money, meaning we basically adjust, will that affect, I mean, we know you still need that 1.89, that's basically your budget request for this coming year is 1,890,344. So if that's the money that you need, and right now we have 3.2 million in reserves, the levy extension is 2.65. We actually will have a total of over $5 million.
No, but we've gone through this before.
Tax
We
people
don't
at
get
what we have in reserve.
You
So
know,
if we were,
let Mr. Hoban or Carrie Lynn explain why this is a moot point and why, unless my name is on this and I agree to it, you can talk to everybody's blue in the face. And it's up to my successor.
well, Wally, I just have a,
Excuse
I'm not
me,
trying to-
excuse me.
I'm not trying
I
to
would like,
change your budget. I'm saying,
Trustee Sweeney to follow the Roberts Rules of Order and not continually just
Okay,
speak out
so
of turn.
I gave 2 minutes. So, all right, here's what we're gonna do. Trustee Sweeney is gonna talk for 2 minutes without screen sharing. That's what we're gonna do. Then we will hear from the attorneys on the, so she can get it off her whatever. Okay. Because just there was life before screen sharing. So I apologize. I didn't expect that my internet would go down. And we have had this conversation every year, but continue with respect to, what you want to say.
well, I'm disappointed that I can't screen share because I wanted to read.
Okay, but don't use up your 2 minutes saying how disappointed you are. Like, tell us.
No. Okay, it takes longer than 2 minutes to read the abatement ordinance for the town fund, by the way. And
We all read it.
okay, so what I sent today was and I'm disappointed that I can't share. I really would like to share. Why can we not do this?
My iPad isn't allowing me
Susan,
to.
please just say what you need to
Can't
say.
you just say
Thank you.
Okay, so Maine Township, here's what I'm reading. My 2021 proposed abatement share is that currently Maine Township has 11,358,169 in our reserves funds as of January 31st, as noted by our auditor in the 217 email. Therefore, I propose that we source our 2021-22 budget in part from our reserve funds and that we abate a total of $4,206,822 from the town fund general assistance and road and bridge levies. The draft budget request for the town fund is $3,932,418, which is what Dana requested, plus whatever. It looked like tonight she actually said 25. So roughly speaking, it's another 100,000 or so more. Reserves has 6,644,000. The levy that was levied in 2020 that gets taken out in 21 was 3,048,000. If we abated $2 million, we could have an extension changed, basically amending the levy to $1,048,227. The funds available for reserve are $6,664,000 plus the new levy of $1,048,000. We would have $7,692,726. That leaves nearly twice as much as what we need for budget expenditures. If we need $4 million, roughly speaking, in what Dana would like to see for the town fund, even though we haven't made that decision, what we're going to actually spend, we have 7.6 million in reserve with a change and with the abatement. So if we were to abate $2 million, we still would have $7.6 million to spend. I think we have more than a year's worth, almost 2 years worth, so we could afford to do that. That's town fund. For general assistance, our draft request, based on what Dana submitted, was $638,912. Our reserves in that fund are right now, as of 1/31, $1,505,000. The levy extension that we did back in December of 2020 was $206,822. So I propose that we abate that entire amount, the $206,822, because if we have $1.5 million, we have more than twice as much as what we need in our budget request, which is $638,000. So we only need about $1.3 million. It would be twice as much. So $1.5 million is more than what we need. The reason I brought it up for road and bridge for discussion was because we do have a reserve fund of $3,208,000. So we keep stockpiling, growing this reserve, which is not something that we're
Not we.
Well,
it's a separate taxing body, not we.
Well, we are still Maine Township. We have a road and bridge fund, and we have general assistance, and we have the town fund. We have 3 funds. So while Wally is the highway commissioner and he has responsibility for that, and I understand that, I don't need to have repeated what we've already discussed. The fact of the matter is we still have reserves of 3 million and we levied 2.6 million. So we have 3.2 in reserved levy. So we have 5.8 million right now to spend. And my suggestion is that, if we have that, then if it's possible, why wouldn't we consider abating? If it doesn't affect what we can, I understand, I do not want to affect what Wally needs for a budget. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about where to source the money. He needs nearly $2 million every year, and he actually had to levy the 2.6 to be able to get 1.8, 1.9. We've talked about that. I understand that. The lawyers have presented on that. So I totally understand that we need that money. But if we abate, I thought it was treated differently. And that's my question to the attorneys, that we could still abate the money and give it back to the taxpayer, that we would abate $2 million. We still would have 3.8 million in reserves after that. And, at least twice the amount that we need for the budget, because we only need 1.89. That's what we're going to spend this year, according to what Wally was forecasting for expenditures out of a budget, 1.89. So why wouldn't it, can we do that?
No, not without his permission.
Okay, so that's the question. Why would he not?
Well,
want-
I think trustee hang on, trustee McKenzie. Are you asking them again, the lawyers?
I didn't hear any response from.
Okay, which of you would like to respond, Mr. Holben or Carrie Lynn?
Well, I think Carrie Lynn has already responded, and I would agree with what Carrie Lynn had to say on that. The Township Road District is a separate and distinct legal entity.
Mhm.
And the Township Board has simply no authority to levy, to question the Highway Commissioner's levy, or to abate taxes with respect to the road district. For those reasons, separate and distinct legal entity.
Okay, so if we had 20 million in reserves, there would be no reason to consider abating.
You could certainly speak to the Highway Commissioner and get his consent.
But you can do that like offline, because he's not consenting right now. He hasn't consented for 4 years. I don't know why
I've never brought forth an abatement before on the highway. I've only asked about a discussion with the town fund and GA.
No, you did try on the levy itself.
No, not on the levy.
Never done an abatement.
No.
Not the abatement, I mean, not the abatement.
It doesn't matter. He literally just said what he said. Wally did. Okay. Trustee McKenzie is next.
Thank you. Wally, can you just give us your position so that, everybody is very clear whether or not, even though we have over $3 million of reserves, whether or not you would consider an abatement of any part of road and bridge levy?
Okay, well, yeah, let's assume that next year's budget will be 1.9 million. Okay, we get that in property tax because we have to levy a 2.6 to get the 1.9 because of the rebates to the municipalities. They get half of the general road fund tax revenue. I consider, a year and a half or thereabouts a healthy reserve where it can incorporate expenditures in case of you have problems with snow or commodities or anything else. So if you have a reserve, I don't think we have an excessive reserve. And some people say 6 months. I've been here as a trustee. I remember 12 years ago, situations change.
No.
They had to borrow from a bank, the town fund, because
Oh, yeah, right. I remember that too, because we weren't getting the property
you
tax.
can never get into fiscal problems. I don't see, if we have, let's say, between a 3 and 3.2 million after all these expenditures are made, and our budget is 1.9, That's not 2 times or 2.5 times where you start getting into legal issues. It's perfectly reasonable. It's not.
Right.
And, you know, if somebody else wants to cut it down to the bone and make sure it's 6 months or 3 months or whatever they think the criteria is, well, there'll be somebody else in this position in 2.5 months. Maybe they have a different opinion. Maybe they have a different attitude about it. But I don't think we're neither wasting money or hoarding money. And we're not doing anything that's beyond, you know, it's like you can't win. You have too much reserves, or you don't have enough. You know, wouldn't it better to have the adequate reserves and be like the state of Illinois? I mean, I just don't see where what we have in the bank is so criminal.
Kim's first, then you, Dave.
Thank you.
I was just gonna ask that trustee Sweeney stick to the Robert's Rules of Orders, because it's a continual.
Okay, that's, I mean, we're
I'm not
good.
finished.
And I know. So, I'm making sure that happens. And everybody's gonna stick to it. We're doing 2 minutes. And like, let trustee Sweeney, you gotta let everybody else talk before like you talk again. And really, you do. So, I think trustee McKenzie had one more question.
I want the answer to my question, Wally. Is it your position you feel that in which
You're cutting in and out.
Yeah, you're freezing.
consider abating the levy? I mean, it's that simple. I mean, if you say no, then there
You
is
said
nothing
no.
to talk about.
Right.
Well, I'm not hearing Wally.
All right, Wally, I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk over you. Can you say it again without your mask?
No, that's my answer.
Okay, so no, you would not consider abating any part of your levy, the road and bridge levy, even with over $3 million in reserves.
Well, correct, yes, I will.
Okay, that's all, because if you don't agree, there's no discussion, just like you said, but we have to know what your position is.
Oh, I thought I made it clear beforehand, sorry.
No, it wasn't that clear, but now it's crystal clear. Thank you.
So that's why I asked, just so you all know, that's why I asked trustee Sweeney, and you don't have to answer this, trustee Sweeney. Like if she wanted to excise that portion, because I thought you guys wanted to vote on an abatement tonight, but you
Yeah,
can't.
if everybody else.
No, trustee Sweeney, I asked, do you, okay.
Sorry.
No.
I don't know if anybody else wants to speak. I guess Dave's finger is up.
Okay. Trustee Carabone.
3 things. Number 1, keeping that money. We keep talking about wanting to help our community and help our people through this pandemic. Tying up $1 in our savings that we don't need takes away $5 to $7 of economic activity in our local community. So we really got to cut out some of this money that we're holding on to. That's number 1. Number 2 is that I would amend the motion, if the motion is being made by Susan, I would amend the motion to go forward with her proposed abatements when it comes to town fund and GA at this time.
Well, that's the only thing we can vote on. We can't.
Right, and I think that's what you're trying to clarify, which you have clarified, Supervisor Marask, and therefore that's the motion. We've been all over this abatement dollars. Susan's numbers have made an awful lot of sense.
Exactly. So,
but Claire has also made it very clear that it's not the board that's not considering or refusing to abate when it comes to road and bridge. When you say it's a separate governmental body, when people hear about road and bridge and they have $3+ million in the bank, Laura, it's on you and it's on me and it's on Claire, it's on the rest of the board. As a matter of law, it's not, but
Okay,
from the
no,
public
I'm
it
gonna
is.
tell
So
you
it was a very good clarification.
Okay, so
That's my
here's,
motion. That's my motion, amending.
that's great. Is there a second to your motion? And then I'm gonna have a little discussion. Is there a second to your motion?
I mean, I have two different ordinances, so I need to make a proposal that this is the ordinance, and I called it 2021-1, but I think Dana has some new ordinances. I might need to change the number. But that is the one that pertains to the town fund and general assistance.
That's the
Okay,
one I'm talking about.
that's the one Dave's, I think we were all clear on that.
Yeah, we were clear.
So
That's what
my
I told
response
them.
is, the reason that I feel no shame whatsoever for Wally having his reserve is that our streets are plowed. And our streets are arterial streets. And our streets, these guys have been out, for 24 hours, overnight, for the last, it's been a record in the country. I don't know if it was the world, but it was definitely a record in Illinois, that we had, I believe it was 10 straight days of measurable snowfall. And as you all know, it was far more than measurable. So I feel no shame at all because I go on the Park Ridge Concern Homeowner Block and all I hear are complaints about Park Ridge not plowing their streets. I don't have, to necessarily agree with it. I'm just saying, ours are always very good. And I think that the road and bridge commissioner, whoever that person is, knows best. And Wally is possibly the most. You guys want to talk fiscal, conservative, saving the taxpayers money? Okay, this doesn't, because it just doesn't. I don't feel any shame, Dave, whatsoever in the road and bridge operating how the road and bridge feels they need to operate. But my point is, Wally is the cheapest son of a bitch you have ever seen in your entire life. And I mean that as a compliment. I don't mean to swear, but he is possibly more he walks the walk. He doesn't just talk the talk. He, when I sat next to him as trustees, I think I'm gonna get up. There I go. The guy is, and no offense, Wally, this is a compliment. He is so goddamn darn fiscally conservative. He sells he makes his people fix their own damn vehicles. He changed a lot of things from the previous administration, which also ran well. But so we're not over the legal limit. I feel no shame, and it's irrelevant because he's not going to agree. So having said that, let's move on to the other issue.
My motion, which is pending, and we have a second.
Right, so I want to discuss that for a second. For GA, you make it sound like it's gonna save the taxpayer, it saves them $3. Okay. I don't think it's, earth shattering. I don't really have any comments other than I do want to ask trustee Sweeney if you can answer this question in under 2 minutes. Please. My question is, why did you vote for a levy in December that cut the township substantially, as well as GA? And what changed? We have a preliminary budget that is by no means finished. And so tell me, what changed?
So we are held to, as Wally has already referenced, we, in the town, in the road and bridge specifically, I guess that his attorney's off now, but we
No,
can,
he's there.
He's there. He's there.
but, we have to levy more in order to get the amount that he
No,
needs.
I'm talking about now
But when it comes-
Dave's motion,
Okay.
not Road and Bridge. Forget Road and Bridge.
Okay, because we have to levy a certain amount. We didn't know what we were going to abate, but if you abate, as we understood, and we've done this for the last 3 years, it doesn't affect the tax extension. We had the gal come from Cook County, the Cook County Clerk's office, and
Well,
talk-
we've gotten 0, so it does affect
we
the
have that look back provision of 4 years, right? So it's not going to hinder us because, the critical number was to look at the December levy. But if you abate, you're just addressing taking back all this money that's sitting in reserves that we don't necessarily need. I don't think we need to be taxing taxpayers when we have, for example, in the road fund, it's really going to be 5.8 million. And we only need 1.8. So we do have a lot in excess.
But you're still talking about road fund.
I know, but I'm
Please stop talking about road fund.
Well, I'm giving that as an example.
I don't want it as an
the town
example.
fund- Okay, so the town fund and, we know what we have in reserve for the town fund, which is $6.6 million. That's crazy. We talked about other branches of government and including ours. Let's not have more than a year. Well, if we don't want to have more.
No,
than a year, we
that
put
was
$6 million out,
something.
and we'll still
was-
have, but I'm trying to answer your question. You're interrupting, so I can't. If we still, isn't it okay if we still have 7.6 million, 900,000? When all we need in town fund is 3.9 or 4.
So I'm gonna answer that.
I'm saying
We went down in the
$2 million
last,
and
since you
still have-
started abating, we went down from 12 million reserves to 7 in the town fund, right? Or 5, is it 7 or 5?
No, it wasn't 12, our overall was 12.
No,
For all 13, 12, and we still have over 11.5 million. That's insane. Joe Egan.
not in town funds.
Ludicrous that we're taxing.
No, we do not have 12 million in town funds.
You can look back at all our audits and it says exactly what we have in all 3 funds. And we've had 12 million, 13.
I'm talking about town fund right now.
Town fund. We have 6.6 million. That was as of 1/31. Now,
Right, so we used to have
spending
12
more.
million.
Dana, I don't know if Dana, we couldn't get that number, what it actually will go down to, because we've got that at February, what will 2/31 or February 28th, excuse me, the end of the month, what will the reserves look like? Are we dipping into the reserves to pay for the bills from February? That's the only question that I have. So, but even if we did, our bills are 300,000, even if we dipped into it by 100,000 or so, we'd still have 6.5 million in reserves. There's no way we need that money in reserves. That's just, we don't have the right to hold on to taxpayers' money like that in stockpile. It makes no sense.
All
Excuse
right,
me.
trustee Jones, you were next.
Once again, I'd like to ask trustee Sweeney to stick to the rules of Robert's order. She continually interrupts, she overspeaks. You ask a question, she goes over her time limit. It's getting a little ridiculous.
I didn't go over.
Either you follow the rules of order and act respectfully in the meeting, or you should be muted.
I never even.
Okay. So, does anybody else wish to be heard on the abatement issue let's take them, one at a time. Town fund. Trustee McKenzie.
I just want to say summarily that last year we went down a discussion road of what we all would agree was a comfortable or in the best interest of the township as far as a reserve. And based on that discussion, which I would continue to agree, that's what I'm going to base my decision on. I don't think anything has changed from that. I mean, there's no debate that we do have a sizable amount of reserves. That's all.
Okay. And so I just want to make sure, and I did make sure with our accountant and our lawyer, we are not legally over. So I just wanted to, make that point so that, the board is not speaking against itself. Okay. Does anybody who hasn't, I think everybody has spoken. Trustee Jones, you want to speak to the merits?
I agree that we're within our legal rights, and I don't really have much to add.
Okay. Now, so oh my God, it's 9:40. All right. So the rules allow each person to have a second comment, very short, that's not repetitive. And I mean, not, Dave, let me finish, not repetitive of something you said before. And like you and I, you understand each other. All right, Trustee Carabota.
Thank you very much. I thought, Laura, you, in my opinion, Supervisor Morass, you've handled this debate very well. There's efforts to obfuscate the issue. That's not going to happen, whether it's based on just plain argument. The only issue I wanted to raise is whether or not it's legal versus illegal. There was statutory statutes that were passed because there were townships, not us, that were way over the limit when it came to reserves, as Wally would say, hoarding money, to the point that, gosh almighty, they had to pass a law to do the right thing. We're doing the right thing. You can be within the confines of the law and still have too much money in reserves, and that's where we're at. So again, I would respectfully stand on the motion, and I thank the board's consideration of my motion.
And you know what? That was actually something new. So I appreciate that. Anybody else? Something new? All righty. Then Clerk Tillman. All right. So Trustee Carabota, you want to read the ordinance you're proposing?
I would ask to have Susan Sweeney read it into the record if that's acceptable, Supervisor Morass.
Yeah, it's
a straight read without just a straight read.
Ordinance number, and I may need to change the number, Dana.
But that's it. Yeah, just give we can amend the number.
I called it number 2021-1.
Right.
Ordinance abating a portion of the tax heretofore levied in December 2020 for general.
Wait, I'm sorry, Susan, isn't it 2021-22?
The road was the 2021-2. The town fund and general assistance is 2021-1.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to change that because my budget ordinance is the same number.
Right.
So we'll amend it. Don't worry about it.
Make it 3 or
one of us will fix one of our ordinances.
This is
Thank you, Dana.
This is an ordinance abating a portion of the tax heretofore levied December 2020 for township and general assistance purposes of Maine Township, Cook County, Illinois. Whereas the Board of Trustees, the Board of Maine Township, Cook County, Illinois, the district, by an ordinance adopted on the 22nd of May, on the 22nd day of December 2020, ordinance number 2019-5, tax levy ordinance for Maine Township, 2020 levy ordinance. And whereas duly certified copies of the 2020 levy ordinance were filed in the office of the county clerk of Cook County, Illinois, And whereas Maine Township has funds arising from other sources, those funds being the reserve money in the bank as of January 31st, 2021, totaling $6,644,499 in the town fund and $1,505,603 in the general assistance fund, which may lawfully be used to pay operational expenses, and therefore desires by ordinance to direct the county clerk to abate a portion of said levies. Whereas Township Code 60 ILCS 1-85-65 mandates that township funds, excluding the township's capital fund, shall not exceed an amount equal to or greater than 2.5 times the average annual expenditures of the previous 3 fiscal years. Whereas the board has determined and does hereby determine that it is necessary and in the best interest of the townships that a portion of the taxes heretofore levied for the year 2020 for township and general assistance purposes be abated. Now therefore be it, and it is hereby ordained by the Board of Trustees of Maine Township, Cook County, Illinois as follows. Section 1, incorporations of preamble. The board hereby finds that all of the recitals contained in the preambles to this ordinance are full, true, and correct, does incorporate them into this ordinance by this reference. Section 2, abatement of taxes. The taxes heretofore levied in the 2020 levy ordinance shall be abated as follows. And I itemize the 2 funds within the town fund that pertain to this. Town fund, amount levied in 2020, $3,048,227. Amount to be abated by this ordinance, $2 million. Remainder of tax to be extended, $1,048,227. General assistance, the amount levied in 2020, $206,822. Amount to be abated by this ordinance, $206,822. Remainder of tax to be levied, 0. Total amount levied in 2020 was $3,255,049. Amount to be abated by this ordinance is $2,206,822. The remainder of tax to be extended is $1,048,227. Section 3, filing of ordinance. Forthwith upon the adoption of this ordinance, the secretary of the board shall file a verified copy hereof within the county clerk, and shall be the duty of the county clerk to abate said taxes levied in December 2020 ordinance in accordance with the provisions hereof and is shown in section 3 herein above. Section 4, effective date. This ordinance shall be in full force and effective forthwith upon its adoption, which would be today's date of February 23rd, 2021. And
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Dialamas, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Marask,
No.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
yes.
Again, thank you.
Thank you. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the board reports to now because we have a somewhat lengthy closed session. So in order to do the closed session, I need to kick everybody off who doesn't belong in the closed session. So, board reports first, and I will start with Assessor Moylan Kreis. Or did she leave? Oh,
Thank
there
you.
she is.
Thank you, Supervisor. I did put something in the packet. So that's what I have right now because I know this is taking a long time. So we do have something in there. So everybody can read that. It's included. Thank you very much.
And I do want to say that Liz presented at our what do we call this? Town
Department head meeting.
Yes, and the assessor's office has been very, very busy with certifying exemptions and errors. And the assessor changed and will no longer accept written applications, so they had to.
I could have told you that, Laura, but you didn't let me.
I made it quick.
Okay.
They have been extremely busy and, so, next.
And everybody wants to talk to the assessor.
Everybody wants to talk to the assessor. And I thought my husband was born in 54 and he's really
heard
born in
that about you.
56, terrible white that I am. All right.
Liz and I had a discussion. I said,
I'm
no, we
sure
can't.
you did. I never can. My son is turning 30 March 7th, and my husband is turning 65 March 8th. Hard to keep them straight.
Next year, honey.
All right. Next is Highway Commissioner Kazmarchuk, unless he's left. I don't know. Do I have the boardroom? Oh, there's the boardroom. Is he still there?
Boardroom looks muted.
I know, but I'm
He
not.
left. I think he left.
Okay, so we don't need that report. All right. And Clerk Kilamis.
Nothing to add to my written report other than to once again say thank you to Roz for her 16 years of service to the township and to our department. She will be missed.
Roz will be greatly missed. I bought everybody lunch at Portillo's, safely distanced.
Love Portillo's.
Sorry, staff, and they, set it all up. I just paid my own money.
Very good, thank you.
Because Roz, I've been working with for the entire 16 years, so she will be sorely missed. Okay. So let's go to the other end of the board, Trustee Sweeney.
Well, I do want to thank Dana for the preparation you put in the budget and the time you put and that you continue to put and try to, give us as much information as you can. So thank you. And also, I just wanted to commend Richard Lyons because in his board report last month and then this month, I think he's putting a lot, they're changing a lot to automate. So that's I know that's probably been a significant effort and he's presented his board report, but he doesn't present it orally. So you can find that online and find that in the board report minutes. So thank you for that. I guess I would say, I do want to say that we made a decision tonight and though I don't agree with it, I think we're all entitled to our own opinions. My board report that I presented last week was stricken from the record, even though it was part of the meeting and I thought it should have been in the meeting minutes. We might have a difference of opinion about that, but I do not think it was political. I think it was actually being accountable and transparent to taxpayers. So I'm disappointed that that did not get included. And I do want to announce that the circuit court has.
No, I'm sorry.
Here we go
I have
again.
to cut you off. You're doing literally the same thing.
As
That's not part of your, no, you're muted. I muted you. Okay, Trustee Carabota.
I want to thank everyone for all the work they've done tonight. I join in and adopt Peter's comments as well and Susan's comments as well up until the muted point. February 10th, 2021, I attended the Township Officials of Cook County seminar on township communication. Austin Hopkins did a great job with Timothy Hennigan and Kathy Trent. Kathy Trent gave a presentation and hosted. The presentation was writing and submitting press releases. It was done very well. It was very thorough and easy to understand, which was great. Also, just a quick note, as we walk around our community now in Maine Township, we're going to be seeing green lights. People are putting up green bulbs to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. What's so important about that is that those green lights last year stayed up in April, May, June, July, as I walked the community because of COVID. They kind of stopped at St. Patrick's Day. This year, it looks like everything is getting better, although we still have a lot of challenges. And it's good to see the green lights again. It's good to see another St. Patrick's Day. I wish all you and yours a blessed St. Patrick's Day and that we enjoy Easter and all the future holidays throughout the year as we get through COVID, reminding you that your churches are here, your schools are here, the township is here for you if we can be of any help with that regard. Thank you again.
All right, trustee McKenzie. Oh, you have to unmute. There you go.
I too want to thank everybody who tirelessly prepares our packets. We all put in the work, and that goes without saying. I waive all other report. I do want to say that I am going to have to leave the board meeting soon, so I'd like to get to the closed session as soon as possible.
Okay, I'll be very quick. So I want to make an announcement that I'm sorry. Oh, I apologize. Trustee Jones.
Okay, it'll be very short. I want to echo Pete's sentiments and thank Roz. She was a great lady. She is a great lady, and it was wonderful working with her all those years. And I wish her the best in retirement. And I want to welcome Eva, and hopefully she will enjoy her job and time at the township. And then waive the rest of the meeting. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Jones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be quick. I want to announce some exciting, what I think is exciting. Vicki and I have been working tirelessly for a month or more to try to become a vaccine site. And they finally, we've talked to Pete Silvestri, we've talked to, we've literally, and I have to commend Vicki on this fabulous legwork. Doreen, Dana, but Vicki is really, we tried Joel, we tried, all these people, but I think they got such negative press from some of the other things that happened. However, I had done my own, I was qualified through 1B, and then I saw they changed and they added a link, organizations. So we signed up today. So we may be within the next month a vaccine site. They bring it in. We're using the mainstreamer huge list. We're using the GA list. Obviously all the employees as well as the board, should they wish it. We'll keep you posted, but that's my very exciting news. Because, they want to go to Maine West, and, we're much more centrally located than Maine West. So today, Vicki and I filled out the form together, and the form literally went up Friday. And I do think it was in response to all the negative press that has been happening from the sort of haphazard. And we're supposed to get 300,000 more doses. So I think we'll see some movement. That's my report. Oh, and Dave, my Christmas lights are still up. They're coming down this Sunday because it was too frozen to take them down.
Well, you also give a lot of joy to your neighbors still. It's very hairy.
Well, and it's good lighting to walk in. Well, I don't walk out or walk in, so I'm still in a wheelchair. All right, so I am going to now, Carolyn, how do I do this? Just tell everybody to okay, so for all of you participating or, not part of the voting board members, I need you to choose between either going in the waiting room or just getting off, because nothing's gonna happen.
Right? To make them, what was it?
No, you don't have to make any motion yet. I'm just telling them their options, and then I'll ask you.
Closed session. We have to have an open vote about whether we're going to closed session.
Yeah. I know. I just wanted to give the people who are here as public participants that option. They can either go in the waiting room or they can sign off for good. because they have to go. Because it has to be recorded, but it can't be live streamed, okay? So that's the deal. So, all right, Earl, like, yeah, what do you, I mean, I don't know that you have to each tell us individually.
Yeah, if you have them make a motion, if you just move people.
Wait, you just froze. Can you say, trustee Carabota, can you make the motion or I'll make the motion to go into closed session pursuant to?
I already,
I make the motion to go into closed session.
I thought I just,
Yeah, but you
to
gotta
discuss pending
state what
litigation.
it's for.
Oh,
Pursuant
yes, I can do that.
Pending litigation.
Yeah,
5
it's, we're going
ILCS.
into and make a motion to go into closed session regarding pending litigation pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C11.
Perfect. And I second that. Clerk Talamas, can you take the roll?
question, is it required to go to closed session for pending litigation of this sort?
Yes.
Carrie Lynn?
According to the lawyer that you guys hired, she said it is required for what she's discussing to go into closed session.
Is it, I'm asking Carrie Lynn.
You're not required to go into closed session ever, really, but there's sometimes you wouldn't want to discuss things in public.
Okay, is this one of those times that you feel there's risk in talking about this in public?
Well, your lawyer thinks so.
It's pending litigation, so yes, you should go into closed session. Mary, you can opine on that.
Supervisor Marask, if I might, Mary Dixon.
Sure. I mean, Mary asked for
Hi,
this.
Mary
so-
Dixon.
Yes, I did. Thank you. The board is not required under the Open Meetings Act to enter executive session. It's a privilege accorded the board so that you can discuss freely and confidently with your attorney aspects of litigation without alerting the general public or opposing counsel or opposing parties to any of the strategies or the legal advice I might give you. So it would be my recommendation at this time that the board enter executive session for that discussion, but certainly it's your decision to make.
Okay, thank you.
So that was why I said that.
I'll call the roll then. Supervisor Marask,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie. You're muted, Trustee McKenzie.
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes.
Now we're back. I'm gonna make a motion, right, to go back into open session.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and second. And then I'm gonna make a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh,
Aye.
both.
Aye.
You need a roll call vote under the governor's executive order.
I'm sorry?
You need a roll call vote under the governor's
Oh,
executive order.
forgot.
Okay.
Right.
Nice try.
Clerk Talamas,
Supervisor Marask,
yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Carabota,
I have a question. I'm only kidding. Yes.
Trustee Sweeney.
Yes. Phew. 11:04. Whew.
Oh, I
Hey, and
knew
we
it.
look great. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Night.